I keep it going, I'm rolling and flowing, I'm coasting, I got them all trolling me right. I just keep growing and showing them, knowing I'm owning this flow, you can catch me outside. Gonna get them all with a little payback. Never gonna fall, I'ma stay on the attack. Put them up against the wall as I finish every track. Never gonna stall, no, I'm never gonna slack. I've been like working and learning and searching for something to push my shit over the edge. I'ma keep burning and turning the profit, you know I can't stop it until I am dead. Gonna be unstoppable and profitable, cause I got a constant flow of knowledge, yo. If you got a problem, bro, take them off the throw. Coming to the top, I go, yeah, promise, slow.
Roll up to the club and the city show me love. She gon' fit me like a glove. Sipping whiskey, feeling buzzed. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Yeah. Roll up to the club and the city show me love. She gon' fit me like a glove. Sipping whiskey, feeling buzzed. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. I'ma put that ass to sleep. Yeah.
You can't stop this, I promise. Got electronic with a little rock shit. Rap on top of it, you can't even process it. I'ma keep dropping it till the charts stopping it. Oh, I got the beats and I got the rhymes to make your girl cheat. I swear she a dime, get up on your feet if you wanna climb and take it from me. I got nothing to hide, I get it, cause I want it. Always on it, and I'm plotting. Now I got it, got my shot in. You know I'ma be the one climbing to the top of it. I'm dropping this, take a shot, I got the fifth. I'm watching it, crop top got me in. She got it shit, she wanna pop it off again. Drop it low and then she can take it off and sin, yeah.
Roll up to the club and the city show me love. She gon' fit me like a glove. Sipping whiskey, feeling buzzed. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Yeah. Roll up to the club and the city show me love. She gon' fit me like a glove. Sipping whiskey, feeling buzzed. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. I'ma put that ass to sleep. Yeah.
I gotta do it for the fans, yeah. I wanna do it for the fans, bruh. I got really big plans, yeah. I'ma do it cause I can, yeah. I throw cash for a minute, oh. She throw back for a minute, yeah. I flow fast when I get it, oh. She love that when I hit it, yeah. I'ma get high, I'ma get low. I'ma go fly to my own show. I don't say bye, I say hello. Get to know me, yeah, they call me B-Ho. Gonna be the best in the game, rest in the fame. Nest in your brain and I spread like the plague. I don't give, no I take. Live for today, ain't nobody gonna say I didn't make a name.
Roll up to the club and the city show me love. She gon' fit me like a glove. Sipping whiskey, feeling buzzed. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Roll up to the club and the city show me love. She gon' fit me like a glove. Sipping whiskey, feeling buzzed. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in peace. I'ma put that ass to sleep. Yeah.
Families that are here, and we see parents with the family.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so
What's up, grinders? How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. How's everybody doing out there? It's another Monday night. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I am battling a little bit of the allergies. Oh, goodness gracious. I tell you, can't stop, won't stop. This weather has been wild. And yes, fighting those allergies. But we're here. And the Grindhouse is open. Gonna power through. Might mute for some coughing. Maybe Frog has some new people for the list for the CNC Gaming Factory.
Oh, yes.
About? Oh, man, we'll refer to those. Volume is good. Everybody's saying we're good.
Hey, Mike, you hear me greatly?
Yo, what's up, Frog? Yes, we could hear you. How you doing, man? How's your weekend?
Oh, man, had a good weekend. Had jury duty today.
Oh, damn.
Well, pretty interesting. Obviously, I didn't get picked, but
Nice.
I knew they weren't going to pick me because nobody wants to pick a veteran that's talking about killing people and have killed people and seen people killed when you're on jury duty. They're like, nope, dismiss this guy. And it's not like I did it intentionally. They asked me a question, I just told them the truth.
Sure, yeah.
You asked me about gun control and how many guns I own, and I start naming guns, and the guy's like, "Oh, whoa, you got one too many guns, guy. Like, you really believe in?" Yeah, I believe it because I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I am a law-abiding citizen that can own them, and I have a license. Why not? Why not?
Did you stay off the podcast circuit over the weekend, I guess, since you were...
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't tune into really any of the Sunday podcast except for maybe one.
You need except one. Oh no.
I need to
deprogram.
I need to be cleansed from these weekend podcasts. There's one I listened to, and I want to say it was Weapon Wheel.
That's cool, man.
And it was interesting, but there again, I try to stay away from the weekend podcast because there's some of them, man.
Yeah, we got some topics tonight, man. I put some things on here, some juicy ones. It wasn't too much. I want to thank everybody for coming out for the birthday celebration. What's up, DBZ? How's everybody doing? The Cool 1985, Sergeant Jeff B. Gaming Leech. Oh, man. Yeah, boy. We got a fuss. Febrezzel's in there. Febreze, how you doing? Man, I tell you, but I want to thank everybody for coming through on the birthday. And I had a great time. It was a great impromptu show, just talking and everything. And thank you so much for all your birthday wishes. It was great. The Cool 1985 says, Frog went into jury duty talking like Rambo.
Hey, they asked, I told him. The guy said, hey, he said, tell me. He said, don't hold anything back. And I didn't I didn't hold anything back. I told him everything. I know everybody. I was the only veteran that was in court, and when I said that, everybody, all 29 of them, turned around and looked at me like, "What the hell? Who the hell is this dude?"
That is hilarious, dude. That's crazy. But I want to do that, and also too, we had a bunch of new VIP grinders that be flexing those emojis. I want to thank Ice Queen Gaming, Alfonso Carter, and Maniolus. Leticus. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. For being the new VIP grinders. Please be flexing those emojis in the chat. If you want to be a VIP grinder, you could hit that join button. We got the fresh new grind signal. We got the new hot burning fire. Philness with his check. And it was probably Jim Ness with his check. And we got the Craig and the Halo Infinite Rat. And
I did pick up some heat this weekend. I picked up some nice heat gaming.
Oh,
heat.
Damn. Oh, nice.
Picked up that Legend of Zelda and that Super Mario Gaming Watch.
Oh.
Didn't know they existed and walked into Best Buy and I saw them there and I was like, what is that? So I gave my wife the Mario one. I took the Zelda one, obviously. They're pretty unique things. And I think that's as corny as it may sound, they were $50, but I think that's kind of the best I'll get gaming on the go as far as I'll do. Because I'm not a gaming on the go type of person.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get the Kirby game. I didn't get that. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you one thing that happened to me for my birthday. Nintendo was happy to take $20 of my account on my birthday because they charged me for a year of that Nintendo Online.
Nice. They hooked you up.
Son of a bit, they got me. They friggin' Nintendo nest me. They Bowser nest me. Whatever the hell they did. They're like, oh, thank you for $20. Welcome for another year of Nintendo Online. I'm like, oh, damn. I'm like, come on, Nintendo. I thought I turned off recurring charges. Now I got that Nintendo Online for another year. I'm like, I know all I do is play some of those retro games here and there, but like, it's not worth it. I don't play games online like that thing. That thing has a Wi-Fi of a goddamn potato. That has like a Wi-Fi chip that they put in the goddamn potato chip. You know when you put a potato and you hook up a light bulb to it? That's the Wi-Fi chip that they got in that Nintendo Switch.
That's how it works.
You got to talk in friggin' in Morse code. The hell out of here! $20 for that. And they got the balls to charge more money because they want you to play the Genesis games.
Oh, you know how Nintendo does it.
That's ridiculous.
Nintendo screws their consumer over.
Well, they got me. They got me $20 for my birthday. Thanks, Nintendo.
Absolutely and definitively, they screw their existing customer over. Nintendo is pretty much like America is when it comes to their military, right? America tells you, hey, thank you for your service. We're so proud of you. Here's a discount when you're in the service. And when you do your 20 years and get out, basically the VA says, fuck off, fuck you. You really don't have any problems. You try to get discounts that tell you it's for active duty soldiers only. I don't fucking get it. How can an active duty soldier get a discount and he's not the veteran? I am.
Hey, man.
I did 20 years. Not to put down the active duty guy or girl, but I did the 20 years. They're still actively serving. How did me paving the way before them? How do I not get the discounts? But they do because it's ass backwards. That's how things work.
Nintendo is ass backwards, but they get Nintendo's me. Thank God it's $20 though, and not like $60, $70 that they're hitting me for. But my God, but yeah, so they got me for $20. Got that email, and I'm like, you son of a, like you.
One of them clowns.
I'm like this.
One of them clowns, and you know,
where is
sucking things.
There we go. I was like this.
I'll try to keep the sucking things to a minimum.
Yeah, I was like this. I saw that email from Nintendo, and I was like, shit. I did all my Arnolds. I was like, shit. No, Nintendo got me. But, you know, let's get to the grind board. I want to thank everybody for being a VIP grinder, supporting this channel. We got some topics tonight. And yep, join on in the conversation. The Grindhouse is open, so share it out. Hit that like button. There'll be a lot of awesome sound clips. And actually, I did drop a little stealth video. I pulled a little Game Pass out my ass and did a little stealth video just because I had some funny thoughts. And I thought it was funny, so I was like, you know what? Let me make a video about it. I'm going to play it for you guys for the first topic. And let's go to the grind board. Let's see what we got tonight. Oh boy. So we got the topics here, the grinds board. We're going to list them down. We got the Max Payne reboot. Sonic shows up Halo, the series. No, that was something I did also the weekend. Halo Master Chief is getting better. Master Chief Collection is getting better updates than Halo Infinite. Bungie acquisition generated more tweets than the Activision Xbox talking slander. The Series S booster is getting left behind day by day. Sales of Xbox sales. We're going to be talking about Xbox outsells the PS5. Oh, my goodness. Hold your tongue. Oh, geez. They're building a house of cards. Get ready. A little fart in the wind's going to blow it all down. They better shut up. I'm dumb. Oh, we'll talk about that. That's got to be CNC Game Factor right there. Sony invests more into Epic. Oh, man. Sony handing off the money. Jim Ness is coming over there saying we will not be undersold.
You left off the list because there's a last tick on there. You forgot to put the Godfall is on Xbox. Oh, we need to talk about that.
Oh, there it is. Frog. I did leave another topic off.
Oh, yeah. That's the CNC
That is
Game
definitely yes. Godfall is on. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they love it for $30. I
see a lot of people who really don't play games. I'm calling cheap ass acting like this is the best thing since sliced bread, and they really don't play. I doubt they even beat the game.
I'm gonna say Cap'n Gone Wild. That's what we're going to call
Capping. Oh my God, it's beyond capping.
Capping gone wild. That's what that topic's going to be. Look at this. We're adding, the grind boards are so hot. We're adding topics as we go along. But first was this Max Payne reboot. They're rebooting Max Payne 1 and 2. Rockstar and Remedy are doing it. So what do you think about this? What do you think? First off, I don't even know when it's going to come out. But basically, Max Payne is getting rebooted. 1 and 2. Are you excited about that?
To be honest with you, I think Max Payne 1 and 2 had really good stories.
Well, it's remastered, I think. I don't think it's being rebooted. Sorry.
No, I think it is. No, it's built from the ground up. Yeah, it's not remastered.
Is it being rebooted? It's rebooted, right?
Yeah. Which I don't mind that as much. I do think Max Payne 1 and 2 were good. Max Payne 3 was, I know some people's favorites.
Yeah,
a lot of people, that was their favorite because it took a total different turn. And I would like to see Max Payne 3 included in this, maybe as a remaster. But I don't have a problem with this because I think Max Payne's a series that I would like to see, really get some love. The movie they did with Mark Wahlberg was horrible.
Oh my God, I forgot about that thing.
That thing was trash. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what's going on, but we have to keep this in mind, right? And I've said this so many times before. A lot of these games that we love, and today's the games we love of the past, right? Like the Max Payne 1 and 2. And let's just say these games, let's just say for all intents and purposes, these games became somehow backward compatible through legacy content. They will play and look like shit. So I think that when you see things like this, you have generations of people who are playing games now that didn't ever play Max Payne. So I understand why you could do something like this. And the guys like me, really, I got to take a step back and say I don't want to complain too much because, like my children, even at their age, and they're adults, young adults. Let me specify that, young adults.
Yeah,
they never played Max Payne because they were too. You know what I'm saying? They were too young. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I think that looking at this, it just has to be done right. You have to bring a new audience. You can't just bring guys like me who said, "Oh, I like the first two games." You got to bring a whole new audience. And I am interested to see what it's going to be, but I think when it gets to just coming out, we're just gonna have to see what it is because we've seen a lot of games say, "Oh, reboot this or reboot that or remaster this," and they're not good. I mean, if it could be something akin to like how they did Demon Souls, which I think was kind of like Blue. What's their guy's name? Blue Point.
Yeah,
I think they set the industry standard of how games are to be remade, rebooted. I really do think they set a standard. So I don't think. It depends on who's doing it. Is it Remedy or is it Rockstar helping them? Who is it?
So the press release here is that Remedy is entered an agreement with Rockstar for the new Max Payne 1 and 2 project. So basically, they're saying that they're going to be using their new engine, their Northlight. Oh, well, not the proprietary Northlight engine, and the developmental budget is going to be financed by Rockstar Games and at a size of which is in line with typical Remedy AAA game production. They didn't add that extra A in there. That's only for Xbox studios. They add that extra A.
Talking about what, $100 million budget?
I don't know. Under the agreement, Remedy has a royalty opportunity if the Rockstar has recouped its development, marketing, and other costs for distribution and publishing the game. The project is currently in the concept development stage. So, see you.
So wait, I just heard you read something. They have royalty until it reaches what?
Remedy has royalty opportunity after Rockstar recoups all its stuff. Its money.
Oh, so that game better come out really bomb.
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely going to be a $70 game. $60, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, by the time
at
it comes out,
it has to be a $70 game with 2 games, and we're not just talking about some old remaster. We're talking about something built really well.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to look incredible. I'm sure it's going to be well, but it's definitely a way off. Like it's in concept development stage. And the thing is that it's Max Payne 1 and 2. I guess he was really old in 3. Like to do a sequel to that, it's so late now. I guess you got to go back to the originals, and the originals are so old that, like you said, and a lot of people have played them.
Yeah.
So
if you were born in the the late 90s to early 2000s, you probably didn't play these games.
Yeah, exactly. But I tell you,
No?
it is really it was really gritty. The bullet time was pretty awesome. Let's see how they do. Like, if they do like what a Demon Souls or like Blue Point has done with this, then yeah, I'm in for it. But if it's like I'm assuming it's not gonna be like what they did to GTA or like some sort of like upscaling, because I think it will be come out sooner than
yeah, it'll come out sooner than that. I don't think it's gonna be that.
Yeah, so we'll see how much of an upgrade it is. Like, if it's a whole new, I would love if they incorporated the Euphoria engine into it, like the engine that they got in GTA. But that's Rockstar's engine. That's not Remedy's engine. So Remedy's probably going to use the stuff that it did Northlight. So like with Alan Wake and Quantum Break and the Quantum Break and Control. So right. I do think. Wait a second. Now I'm thinking about it. The physics, destruction, and stuff in Control was probably at its best. And think about doing that in bullet time with Max Payne, with like all the physics and things breaking down. Now, you'll have a scene like in The Matrix, like in that hallway scene in the bank.
I mean, it's only for current gen and PC, so
it is. Yeah, it's for current gen and PC.
Well,
so it's just so far off.
This game should look good. It should look good.
It's so far off.
I know a lot of people in the chat talking about, hey, I don't want remake games, just want new games. I agree with you, but I think that a lot of these games will get remade from the PlayStation, Xbox, and Xbox 360 and that generation, just because there's a large audience who didn't play PS1 and PS2 and Xbox and GameCube games.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it'll be good. It's just that it seems that it's really far off.
Back just because
this thing seems far off, dude.
Why do you think they keep remaking the Resident Evils?
Yeah,
there are a lot of kids who didn't play Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2. That's like the Resident Evil they know now is the one that's out now. They don't know. Like my 19-year-old son doesn't really know what Resident Evil really is, and he sees the Resident Evil 2 remake and he's like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah,
not his type of game still, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
because he never knew Resident Evil. He was just too young.
When do you think this is gonna come out?
I think we get this game
3 years.
I would say 2024.
2 years, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2. I think about 2 or 3 years. I think we'll probably.
I think 2024,
25.
Maybe the middle or end of 2024. Maybe 2025.
Yeah, I think 2025. Oh man, Game Night says that he has to guess. He's going 26 or 27.
That's way out there,
dude. Is
that's new console territory, isn't it?
Yeah, is that is that a tail end of this generation? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
they got the games already. Like, they really just got to update the graphics. So maybe it's a 3 year. Let's see. Yeah. Jeff B. Game.
A lot of people are speculating this generation is going to be longer.
Yeah, Don John. Then we get mid-gen refreshes. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I don't know. We get mid-gen refreshes really quick. I think we get a longer generation because of the chip shortage.
Maybe. I think so, because it stretched it out a lot. But yeah, I think 24. I'm thinking 24, 25. I think we might see it in 24, and then we'll play it maybe late 24 or it gets delayed to 25 in the spring or something like that. That's what I'm thinking, the way it's going, because it's in early concept stages, but they do have the game right there. They just got to redo it. Like, they got the acting and all that stuff, so it's not like they're creating it from scratch. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But talking about franchises, dude, and respecting IP, man, oh man, I'm not going to drop any spoilers, but that Sonic movie, Sonic 2, was absolute fire, man. That was action. It was awesome. It really respected the IP and a story. Like, Sonic really not known for its story and narrative at all. Like, it's just it really just a hedgehog and bad guys and a bunch of cast of characters. Like, they really made this into something big. It had like 71 million, a billion, like 71 like opening weekend. It was packed when I went to the movie theater. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, they got something now. And what's funny is that when the first Sonic movie, when it released, it showed that hedgehog with the way it looked like. What the hell was it? Oh my god, where Sonic looked horrible. And then the social media went wild, going, "That's not Sonic. That's not Sonic. You got to fix that because that doesn't look like the IP." And they went back and fixed Sonic to look better. And now they did Tails right. They did Knuckles great. Like that Urbe as Knuckles was friggin' awesome, man.
Oh yeah, Idris as Knuckles. Yeah, I heard he did a really good job.
Dude, he did awesome. He almost played it off exactly like Batista being. Yeah, he's playing off like how Batista played, like that big just muscle, like just wants to beat up things and just says like these outrageous things. Like he played it up that part.
That's good.
As like Batista did in Guardians of the Galaxy as Drax. So like so
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It's so funny because it's like, what is this bowl you call? Like, and just like I smashed the bowl, and it's just really awesome. And the way they introduced them, and the way the whole thing plays out, and and the ending. Oh man, they're just gonna go. They're going all the way with this thing. But
yeah, I mean, I think that if you can get a movie franchise, gaming franchise is turned into movies, then you can do it really well. Go all the way as far as you can go with it. I'm hoping they do the same thing with kind of like a Mario movie. But I don't know how you exactly
I hope.
do that.
You know, the thing with the Mario movie though is that it's gonna be an anime, so they got a lot of they got a lot of flex. Like they could do a lot more. Like I remember when they talked about the Sonic movie, and it was gonna be kind of this buddy cop movie, and it was in real world, and I was like, what? Sonic in the real world? That's gonna be weird as hell. And
and like the Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, like it was just like oh, he's just an animated character. He's not in this animated world. And let me see if I get it. Sonic 2.
You're like, that seems weird. Like, how are you a freaking animated character, but you're in the real world?
This is what he looked like before, and the internet went wild. Like, he looked horrible. He looked like a mutated hedgehog. This is what he looked like before, and they went back and redrew him and redid it. People are like, that's not my Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I mean, image means a lot, especially when you're going to take the IP and put it on a screen or in a movie. And you see where I'm going with this.
I mean, that's why I think we have some of the problems you're going to have with Halo now.
Well, that's where I'm going with this. Because you look at, they said, not my Sonic, and they went back and they redid Sonic, and then they even took it the next way, and they made it for Tails. Like, and then they took Tails, they got the right voice, they made Sonic look playful, made him look like the actual character. And you know what? They got to know what they needed to do, because basically they translated that to Knuckles, they translated that to Tails, and they translated that even then to Eggman. You know, Jim Carrey did an awesome role of Eggman. Like, he owned that thing. Like, that thing was hilarious.
Yeah, I think he does a good job. He's like the perfect person for it.
Yeah, see, and then they went and they changed Sonic to they made him like this. They changed Sonic to this, which is more akin to the character. The big eyes, the round face. That other one looked like a nightmare. They would scare the hell out of the kids at night. Bootleg Sonic, exactly, Big Buds. That was a bootleg Sonic that they put out there. It looked like a horror show. It was like humanoid Sonic. And Sega was like, you gotta we're gonna redraw those, and we're gonna make Sonic look the way he did. And if I can find a friggin' compare. I think he looks better when they redid him with the big eyes and all that. It's kind of like that's how Sonic should look. Them little tiny beady eyes, that crap was weird. Dude, you look like a friggin' bootleg.
Man, he looked pretty bad. I mean, it goes to show you. It goes to show you that if you can get the right people on your team, I don't know what's going on with this Halo series, but I don't even want to watch anymore. Just like I stopped playing my Xbox. Whole story to hold up.
Oh yeah, what happened with that?
So I said, I'm gonna go 1 week from Friday to Friday and just play Xbox games, right? And I got on there, and they have that little gamer score poll where it tells you, if you're in the lead for the month. And I just got on there and played I played Road Company, and I played another game and I beat it. And I sat there and I went back and I was like, I went from being 10th in the list to being in second place silver, right below I think it was Anchorman, which I'm like, I know I play games, and I started sitting there, and here's the hard thing. It was so hard to really feel like make myself really interested and playing on the system. Number one, this is no bullshit. This is no fanboy shit. That Xbox Series S is so slow compared to PS5. And if you've been playing on the PS5 and you go to your Series X and you download stuff and you're playing stuff and to load up, it's very, very. You can tell, right? That's neither here nor there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, screw it. I'm not playing the current gen games. Maybe that's what it is. No, I got Grand Theft Auto 5 on there, so you can tell that clearly the PS5 is a faster system. It's not only that, you can see the power in the system, and this is why I give it credit. I see the power of the Series X when I'm playing certain games that take that can use it. But what I don't get is like, I guess playing on PS5 for so long, sitting there playing with this Xbox controller, that Xbox controller is inferior in every way to the DualSense. Yeah, like it really is. And you know, and what's so crazy about it is, I platinum Rogue Company on my PlayStation 4 and 5, and I said it's a good game. I'm going to play it on Xbox. And I started playing. I was having fun.
Hello?
That Xbox controller, I'm not going to lie, to me, in my personal opinion, it's you can tell like how superior the DualSense is to it. What I will say is like the other thing is, I expected like being hardwired to the internet and downloading games, it'd be fast. I realized that the Xbox Series S has the same problem the Xbox One that has. It doesn't multipass very well. For all the things it says it can do, it has a very hard time multitasking. Like, it's so seamless going to the store on PlayStation. It's integrated into the whole menu. It's just there. Yeah. On the Xbox, I got a circle that's going around.
It's still an app. It's still an app. Like, it's still an app store.
Like everything is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Playing on the 6 Series X, I felt like I realistically was on a Windows PC. It felt very cumbersome, very slow. Every single thing, it took so much time to load. And I'm going to tell you, I think the biggest problem with this system, in my eyes, as a guy who went from PS4 to PS5 and Xbox One, and I eventually bought a Series X, is it's nothing different from an Xbox One X except for power. Yeah. It's nothing different from an Xbox One X except for power. It took me forever to figure out how to stream games on that thing to Twitch. When I figured it,
Twitch into the sidebar, but you still will have to.
It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that system they get wrong. Still, it's like they came and they made a new system, and this is your chance to redeem yourself from Xbox One, and you just have the same UI as the Xbox One. I'm gonna be honest with you. After sitting there with those couple of days and beating a couple of games and coming in second place, I was like, why am I doing this? I play better games I play more and better games than most people. And then the sad fact of shit about the Xbox Series X, it's a powerful system that is running on some ancient old UI. Like, I don't understand how anybody that went from Xbox One that went to this Series X can say, oh man, this is completely new. It feels like an Xbox One with more power. It feels like an Xbox One in every sense of the way. It doesn't feel like they wanted to leave that generation. And I honestly think that Microsoft did want to come out with a system, but they had to because they knew Sony was coming out with a system. I think Microsoft wanted to build some better UI, and I just don't think they could. I think they were like, screw it. Game Pass is the future. Screw the UI, leave everything the same. Let's just start from we're not going to reinvent the wheel. Let's just put everything. And I think that's a bad move because it screams Xbox One. It screams failure. It does. And I mean failure in a way of like, you created a $500 piece of hardware with the same boot up, you almost same you boot up infrastructure, same UI, and the controller has one extra button with some bumps on the triggers. Like, I'm like, would you guys really go into your plan of really? I think when the guys at PlayStation sat down, they built the PS5, they really put some thought process into this system. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Microsoft did the same.
Absolutely.
I don't think that Microsoft.
What's up?
I don't think Microsoft's Game Studio did the same thing. And it sounds like I'm just bashing, but there's no way in shape or form you cannot factually tell me when you boot up an Xbox Series S, it doesn't feel like it. If I gave you the controller and I hit the system and I told you to play on this system, you could not tell me if it was an Xbox One or Xbox Series X. You couldn't.
Yeah, and obviously it sounds like that's what they wanted to do by design. They didn't want this thing to feel like a next generation console. They just wanted it to feel like familiar and similar. I think it was the worst decision they ever did, especially considering, especially now, how everybody just says now that, and no, it's so funny. Now everybody says they did the same thing with Halo. Now the Xbox One is a failure. Oh, that was such a horrible generation. But meanwhile, 3 years ago when we were in it, they're like, oh, it's fine. They turned it around. Phil turned it around. But now when they talk about the Xbox One, they're like, oh, that's the bastard child of long, just like they shit on Halo 5 because Halo 5 is the worst Halo ever. Halo Infinite is so much better. No, it's not.
But
they trash on the previous. The motif seems to be that they trash on the previous thing to make the new thing look better, but the new thing is not better at all.
I would love to get a solid person on here who's really a fan of like playing on Xbox to really tell me, like, outside of quick resume, what are the major differences outside of power? This explain that. How can anybody
VRR
sit there
and VAG?
Yeah, nobody. I don't think anybody can sit there and tell me that this feels like a brand new console. Outside of power, it doesn't. It feels like an Xbox One.
That thing still has legacy apps functionality from the Windows 8 era. Like
it does.
It's like everything is an app, and that I don't understand why they didn't evolve that.
You have one, right?
And Frog, I got a Series X. I want to say too.
I got a Series X.
The other thing, you have one.
Yeah, I just want to say the other thing that they didn't do, and I did a whole review on this when I had it, and I did a whole thing going through the dashboard. And what's incredible is I went back to watch that video. Actually, I think I have it queued up, but I went back to watch the video and watching what's going on now. They did not even change the dashboard that much from when the console launched. We're over going up to 2 years now into this console generation, and they have yet to evolve. You know, maybe it was like transition. Like, okay, well, maybe the first 6 months, the dashboard will stay similar, and but then we're gonna really show them what the next gen dashboard is. Like, we'll make a transition period, right? Didn't do that. It's still the same exact thing.
Yes, I would like to get a person on here that's really because let me ask you this, Link. Do you feel you have both systems? Is it me or is that thing very much slower than the PS5? The UI, everything, the interface, like it's very much slow. It's behind. Like you can go to the store and it takes a while to go get in that store.
It's not snappy. It's not.
Feel like you're waiting on stuff. Even when you download stuff, I feel like I can I downloaded GTA 5 on both consoles. And I was like, yeah, I swear my PS5 one was there quick. And my Xbox took forever to download that game. And that loud, clicky ass controller. Oh my God. Controller is ass. I don't care what anybody says. The 360 had the best Xbox controller. This controller is bad. Like it's so
smaller.
loud.
I know it's smaller than the other Xbox.
It's very loud. It's very loud.
Yeah, the buttons are clicky as hell. But you know what? If you look at the teardown of the PS5 DualSense, they put actual rubber buffers in the thing too, because they have a microphone in there. They cannot have as clicky buttons and stuff because that will translate over the microphone. So Sony's purposefully quiet because of the microphone in it. Microsoft is clickety clackety buttons all over the place. Like I'm playing
with this controller and it's like I haven't played with it. And it's like change battery. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot a battery's in this bitch, right? So I changed my battery because I got 4 rechargeable batteries. But my thing is, I'm like everything I'm doing with this system does not feel like a new generation. It feels like an Xbox One.
Yeah, I actually did a Frog. Here, let's see if we can hear it. I did it here. Let me see. But hold on, Inception here.
Because they're really.
Wait.
You have the games and apps like right here.
I'm showing the dashboard here.
Holy shit, the dashboard virtually looks the same.
It is. This is the dashboard from a year. This is the dashboard at launch.
It virtually looks the same.
I'm gonna just share this out one more time. Make sure.
Wait, where's the?
Reminds me to have fun.
This was the. Oh my god! You want to hear something funny? Hear this. Look at this. This was launch experience.
Dashboard, which is cool. The theme. I don't know if there's.
Watch. You want to see something funny? Yeah, there's the Apple. You want to see something funny? Watch this.
Do this.
This is legit. All right, watch this. I have all my games that I purchased, my full library of 400 games, 300 games, and I filtered them for optimized. This was the launch experience. Get ready, grinders. Get ready. Here it is. Watch this.
Xbox 360 optimized. Let's. Ah. Huh?
Oh my God, optimize.
2?
Of my installed library of 300 games, 2.
I went from 300 games to 2 that are optimized?
And I tell you, man, Game Pass. Let me tell you something. And I gotta say this.
That's the launch experience of the Xbox Series X.
I went to you know how Grand Theft Auto was $20 to upgrade it, right? So be it. But there were some games that were on sale. They had a summer sale. So I was like, well, let me see if there's any games in here I want to purchase, right? You know? And I'm like, but I own most of the games that are basically considered bangers or mini bangers, or you thought they were good, but they're not good. So I own a lot of the exclusives, right? And what I noticed is like a game like I don't know, Gears of War Hive Busters. I have Gears of War and Hive Busters on sale, and it comes with Gears Tactics. I'm like, oh, this might be a good pickup because I can get Hive Busters and Gears Tactics when I feel like playing it. But guess what I did when I go in and guess the first thing it tells me to do? This is in Game Pass. You should subscribe to Game Pass. They don't want me to buy the $23 fucking thing. They want me to subscribe $15 for a month. Every single game that was in Game Pass, it made sure immediately when I went to go purchase it to tell me, hey, don't really buy this. Get Game Pass. The first thing that pops up is Game Pass.
Holy
and that,
Spirit,
I think that's
activate.
more than...
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
Yeah, Frog.
I think that's what turned me off, right? The other thing that kind of turned me off is, and I started noticing there's a lot of
whatever your name is.
Yeah, that's somebody just said from looking at my video. Thank you, Booster Hip Hop, Buster Hip Hop for subscribing. Thank you.
One thing I can say is,
here's the store.
With Xbox, they don't have a clue of how to really bundle the stuff together. So I already own Gears 5, right? But then they got a bundle, and it's like get Hive Busters, Gears 5, and Gears Tactic. I'm like, well, I already own Gears 5, so I only want Hive Busters in the Tactic game. They didn't have a cheaper bundle for just those two. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so obviously either this game didn't sell well. So now, even though it was only $23, I'm basically buying Gears 5 over again. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm buying it, even though I already own it. I'm paying $23 to get 2 pieces of content, and one of them I already own. And there's a lot of stuff like that in the Xbox store where you can own, like, I don't know, a Halo game, and you can own 2 of them, and but there's three in the pack, and you're like, look, I already own these 2. They don't have it to where, you know, it kind of like who does that? Allstate, not Allstate, or wherever ones that flow. Where she's like, pick your bundle. They don't have a pick your bundle option, like kind of like, and they don't bundle their things really well. Like some of the bundles in there, the way they bundle them, they're really stupid.
Wait,
it's
Frog,
like,
I got another clip.
You know how many times they've gave, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if anybody's felt like this. You know how many times since I've owned the Xbox when they kept giving me Gears of War 1, 2, and 3?
Oh yeah, I got them.
They gave me Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 so many
twice.
times.
I got them 3 times over. They were handing them out like cotton candy.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
They're bad at that.
Listen to this thing. I went into the store to see what was at Xbox optimized, right?
Game preview games. The hell's this game? Fights in tight spaces game preview.
Pause. This is a launch. This is launch day.
Yeah, they're launching.
They had no launch lineup.
I don't know what happened, but
look at what they had optimized. Look at this.
Observer, Bright Memory.
Wait.
We Happy Few. King Oddball, the goddamn mobile game. What the hell? The Falconeer, Like a Dragon, Tetris Effect. Awesome in VR. Yo, what's up, Salty?
Hey, Salty jumped in to see what the hell I was doing.
Watch Dogs Legion, which, by the way, I am getting that. It is $29.99 at Best Buy. Grinds told you so. I told you. Never go full Ubisoft. Never go full Ubisoft.
Listen to this dude.
Ubisoft
Listen to him. I told you.
You hear it here. You don't do it.
You don't do it.
Ubisoft
Thanks, Grinds from the
games
past.
drop. Don't buy Assassin's Creed Ass Creed now. I'm going to tell you. Before Santa comes to your home, Assassin's Creed is going to be $29.99. Right before Santa comes to your house. Watchdog Legions, $29.99 today at Best Buy. Check it out.
Hey, shit, look at the medium. The game is supposed to be Xbox
There we
exclusive.
go. Listen to the Grinds of the past. Not today. Don't buy the Watchdog Legion.
I tell you, playing on that Xbox, it made me realize something like, and what I was lacking. I was looking for like the games that were only on that system. They were on, they were only, and there weren't that many.
My quality. Yeah, I was using my headset.
We could talk about Tunic, and we know Tunic is coming to Switch and freaking PlayStation. But I'm talking about games that their own. Where are their God of War type games? Where are their Uncharted? Their Shadows of Colossus? They don't have games like these, and I think that even their third party skewing, like I wasn't about to go buy no Sea of Thieves and bullshit like that, or no bleeding ass. But I was at best I was gonna buy Gears Tactic and Hive Busters, but the bundle was so jacked up, I passed on it. I was like, look, I'm not buying. It was only $23, but
it's
the
free in
fact
Game
is
Pass, though.
Gears
See, that's
5
the thing.
in there.
It's free in Game Pass.
Oh, and guess what? Like I said, right there is that big old sticker when you go in there to buy it, and the first thing it tells you to do is Game Pass it. Not buy it, Game Pass it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
Right here.
I told my son, I said, hey, give me my PS5 back. Take this crap back. I can't do it. And my son said, it's just going to collect dust. I'm at the point now that if something by the end of the year, if nothing comes up by the end of the year, good. I just don't even want to hang on the system. I want another PS5 for my son so bad. I don't even want my Series X no more. And that's why I said on Twitter, I said, I'm just going to stop talking about Xbox and the shit they do wrong. And I'm going to focus on the gamers that play on Xbox that don't really fucking play games.
Oh, damn. Frog's getting his list of the CNCs.
Yeah. The CNC Gaming Factory. I saw a lot of people on my friends list.
Frog was incognito.
And they don't play games. They were YouTubing it. HBO Maxing it. They were doing everything but playing games. Oh, and if they were playing games, they were playing Destiny 2.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Oh, Frog, tell the truth.
Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
Are you saying that that Netflix, Hulu, and Xbox Home get more play than any of these glorious Game Pass games that they're capping for daily on the Twitters?
Some of these
is that what you're saying, Frog?
These suckers and suckettes, some of them are basically they are telling you lies. They're not really playing games. And the sad thing is,
look at this. I'm looking through this list and cringing. Look at it.
When you sit there and you look in Game Pass and you look at the stuff that I would say probably 75% of the stuff that's good now I own. I don't have a reason to really subscribe to it because I own the stuff that's supposed to be good or pretty decent or hot at the time. That just tells you these guys. That's why do you think Gears flop? Gears 4 flop, Gears 5 flop, and people say it didn't flop. It flopped. It came out, it did what it did, and people are playing on it. So I tell you, my whole thing is I'm not even going in on Xbox anymore. I'm going in on the fanboy gamers, and hopefully this side fanboy.
Look at it, Madden. Look at this. You want to play? You can play Madden 18, 19, 20. Look at this. You can play NBA Live 18 and 19.
This is trash.
Look at this gloriousness in this service.
And the sad thing is people want services on PlayStation. You don't know what you're asking for. You do not want this to be successful. You're gaming.
You don't. You want this trash to go away.
This is what we're doing. This is the future. Come on, dude.
Because the different. Let's look at the way Sony is doing it, and look at the way Mike. You're talking about Game Pass, right?
Yes.
Look at the way Sony is doing it. It's a supplemental service. It's not the way they're trying. It's not their primary method of delivering games to you.
Nope.
It is a service that you can subscribe to. They're going to put some quality games in there. They're not going to put their first party day and date in there. because they,
I heard there's like 4 Xbox podcasts in the night, and they're CNC Music Factory the whole podcast. They're just slopping it up. I heard somebody make a statement and say, if Call of Duty is going to eventually go to Game Pass, when it does, 50 something to 64% of the people on PlayStation are going to just come over and Game Pass. I don't know what Johnson they're sucking, but they need to take the 10 inches out their throat. It's not going to happen.
Shut up!
People are not jumping ship. Well, you're not going to take
the hell thinks that's happening. Come on,
and I'm in an ecosystem and say I'm going to jump out and just go get an Xbox or Game Pass just for one game. Not happening.
And pay monthly.
No, they said it. The people going to do it for Starfield. Watch.
Yeah, they're going to do Starfield. They're going to say I'm not playing PlayStation anymore. I want to go pay. I want not only just I want to go play Starfield and buy an Xbox, but I want to buy an Xbox and pay for Starfield over my lifetime. Like $15 a month to play Starfield, and it's like
the day.
What? Who's doing that?
I never say never, right? But what I'll say is this: these guys are on Twitter more than they're even playing games. Number one. Number two. If you guys are jumping for joy in Game Pass and you didn't buy your Halos and your Gears and all that stuff in the past, were you really gamers, especially Xbox gamers, for first-party studios to begin with? Because I purchased all my first-party games on Xbox day one, whether they were good or bad. And I tried them out and I gave them a chance. I bought Crackdown. I was like, "Yo, this is a bad game."
I bought Scream Ride. I'm staring at it right there. I bought it.
This is not a good game, and I beat it. And I was like, "Yo, this was a very mediocre attempt. It was just something with a little bit more polish on there." And I'm sitting there thinking like, all these games, the Recores, all that stuff, you have Rise, and like some of these games aren't good at all. Rise was very mediocre. I think that maybe if they did a sequel that made it bigger and stopped doing all those button animations, it was the same shit over and over in the game. But like, Rise,
it wasn't. No, it wasn't. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that.
I can't believe. I want the stuff off my screen. This is disgusting.
Look, State of Decay, super mediocre. State of Decay has always been a mediocre friend. There's a lot of games. I just look at Game Pass. I'm like, yo, how are people jumping for joy about this service? This service is not. The games that are in there are not.
It's still in its infancy, dude. It still has to prove itself. But people are saying like it's you got to sign up for it now. There's no reason to sign for it up right now, unless you missed out on all the games of the generation and you want to get a quick. Instead of buying them all, you just want to pay one subscription and do it. But like otherwise, and that's where I thought it would bring in new people, like talking about Game Pass. Instead, it's bringing the people that I know have been playing on Xbox with me, saying it's great. And I'm like, dude, everything in there we've played together. Like
it's guys claiming to be these big Xbox fans.
So we want the new stuff. Oh, it's coming. Sign up now. No.
Are you jumping for joy about? I don't want to say names, but there's some people I'm like, yo, you guys are jumping for joy talking about Game Pass.
In there yet.
Did you not own Gears 4 or 5?
Yeah.
And now that's in Game Pass, you're happy? Like, what games are in it that you're talking about that have come there and you're like, oh, this is the main reason I own Game Pass? You know, you guys are just playing the waiting game to see what comes there.
Dude. It's for the promise. And because they liked Phil Spencer. Like, that's what it is. It's Phil Spencer told them to do it, and that's why a lot of them are doing it. Because it makes no sense. There's nothing in there as of this moment that would take a traditional Xbox gamer, the hardcore, the people that played all these games, to say, I got to sign up for Game Pass because you should be waiting for the new stuff. And there's nothing new coming yet. You got some announcements, but we have yet to see gameplay and nothing new yet. So I don't understand why you need to subscribe for it now, or why you're going saying that this is the best thing to sign for it now because of the promise that all these games are coming. We haven't seen these games. We don't know how they're going to be delivered. They keep talking about trouble at the studios. Like, there's a lot of question marks for somebody to say, I need to go pay $15 a month now.
You know what makes it silly, Jazz? What makes it silly is this is the reason, and I think hand over hand, this is the reason that you will eventually see that Xbox Game Studio and Microsoft's game division become third party. You can't continue to freaking do it. Yeah, you're a $1 trillion company, but you can't continue to do this and with no success. You know, it doesn't matter how many consoles. I personally don't think it matters how many consoles they sell and what they do. They weren't even able to gain the market last generation. I don't think there's much they can do in this market they can do. Other than become a publisher, which to me is the best thing for them to do, make money.
Well, I think that's where eventually they're going to go with this thing. Yeah, but to get back on track, Frog did his thing. I want to get back on track. Go ahead. So, we talked about the Sonic thing. Frog just talked about his experience with the Xbox and going down memory lane of what the Xbox and all this thing is. The last point I wanted just to bring back into the Sonic thing was, the people went out and said Sonic didn't look like the Sonic. They basically made Sonic look like how he should look, and now they got a franchise on their hand. That second movie was great. They're going to probably be a third one. And, the Halo series on the other end is completely different. They took an iconic figure, an iconic person that this is what they look like, and they stripped him down to his asshole. And
he's walking around butt-ass naked.
Dude, that's what we want. And I don't understand, this is the point. He's the only one in this picture that is walking around with no clothes on. This is the iconic picture. This is Halo. Master Chief had never left his suit. This is him. You don't feel like you're watching Halo when you just see this dude running around in his Under Armour and walking around. And this is the point I was trying to make. It's you have to respect your IP. Even though this might not be in the storyline, Sonic is not in the storyline. He don't meet any humans and going on cop chases and stuff. That's not. It's not a lore. It's not canon with the Sonic movies. But they still are able to respect the franchise and do the things that a gamer who knows about Sonic would expect, so they don't feel like it's a bootleg version of it.
They're introducing a whole new generation to it.
Yes, and the Halo, they're doing a complete opposite of it. The first 15 minutes was great. I'm like, this is pretty good. And then all of a sudden, they just went down the rabbit hole. And they basically had him now without a helmet on. They injected Cortana into the back of his head. And now he don't even need his armor to talk to Cortana. So now he's just running around, and now he just uses a spacesuit. And I think it's all wrong because this is Master Chief. And I did have my accolades video. I don't know if everybody saw the accolades coming in, but as Microsoft says, they're the ones that self-proclaim it. They love themselves, and there's a lot of accolades coming in. Booty loved it. He said it's the shit. We had the actual real Halo Master Chief goes like this. He goes who's this? This is not him. This is not Master Chief. And then on top of that, they use Cortana, the voice of Jen Taylor, so she sounds like you're listening to the game, but meanwhile, it doesn't look like Cortana. It looks like a weird version of her, and she just, it's crazy. It is insane. I encourage everybody to watch the video of the accolades. It was pretty funny. Steven Spielberg goes, "Thanks, Microsoft. Take my name off this shit."
Look. You got guys running around on Twitter acting like Puff Daddy at the Drink Tramps, getting drunk and saying sus stuff like eyes. Talking about oh yeah. There's some weird individual guys on the internet, and I watch their videos, and I'm like, yo, what's really wrong with you? Because the person you say you are, and I expect you to be, the truth seeker, taking people's knees. You're not taking people's knees. You're taking something, but it's not knees. It's definitely not knees. And for a person I always talk about knees, I don't know. There's something weird, man. Something going on. All I know
is that this is what we say. When you talk about
Phil Spencer, look at your lips. There's a problem.
This is what we say is basically they do not respect the IP, and this is what pissing people off to watch this thing is because basically you have taken this iconic figure and you basically turn him into some humanoid. They basically did the Sonic to what the first Sonic was. You create him into this human guy walking around with emotions and feelings, and it's you first need to establish who Master Chief is to everybody before you want to do this whole 180. You start the show with a 180. It's okay, well, even if this was a regular movie, a regular show, you'll be well, all of a sudden, the whole premise of the show is that he gets flashbacks of when he was young. And it's just but you don't even know who he is. Yeah, I know. But you don't even know who he is. And then you just flip it. But again, it just shows how Microsoft and 343 do not respect their IP. And I said that the Halo show goes into the part of the Mario movie. Put it in with John Leguizamo as Luigi. because that's exactly what they did with Halo. They just said some concepts here and there, and let's just make some other movie that we want to make. And that's what the Mario movie was. It was some sewer movie.
That shit hurts, man.
Dude, they wanted some sewer movie. They took some concepts and said, here's a Goomba. This is what it looks like. And guess what? Bowser's a human, but spits fire. He's a human lizard guy. And it's like, well, no, Bowser is a friggin' human dinosaur. He's a dinosaur. He's not a human.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Bowser wasn't a human, but they made him a human. Look what they did look what they did here. They put a human ruling the Covenant. In what game was a human rule the Covenant and running around with space snakes? Like, what the hell movie is this?
Space snakes.
She's using space snakes, and then she has a friggin' she has a goddamn a blade coming out of a fingernail.
When you let me tell you something, I'm not watching. I haven't watched this. I'm not going to watch it. And listen, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is what happens when you turn your property over to someone who doesn't have a passion for the source material.
Hands off, ass first.
They don't have a passion for the source material. When you take a director like Matt Reeves, who just directed the Batman, right?
Yeah,
he had a passion from wanting to make this film. When you hand your property over to someone who says stuff like, "I never played the video games," we're not, things like that. It's clear that they're not interested in really making a Halo. They're taking the Halo name and the characters, but they're making their own thing.
Exactly. Just like the Mario movie.
That's
Even
what
though
they're
Jemiah
doing.
says that's a classic. It is a classic.
That's Super Mario Brothers. Brothers. Oh yeah.
Just think of the parallels, right? They turned Bowser into a human. They turned the Covenant leader into a human. The Yoshi was a goddamn little pet dinosaur. Like, no, Yoshi's green. Why is he brown? And why is he a little pet dinosaur that was covered in fungi? It's just ridiculous. Like, it goes, Goombas, like these big tall guys. They're supposed to be little mushroom heads. The tall guys are little heads. They just took the concept and made their own movie, but just took the Mario names and stuff like that and threw them in there. And that's exactly what they're doing with Halo. They basically wanted to make some sort of space show. And they go, okay, well, here's the armor. We'll put him in there. And then, we'll make the movie that we want. We'll have a Covenant leader with space snakes and plasma swords and a fingernail. What are you talking about? They don't have the grunts in there yet. She should be using and controlling the flood. Instead, she has space snakes. Like, I don't know what the hell those are. Those are the things from Nightfall. What the hell is this? Like, she has all these snakes. Like, dude, it is. I don't know what the hell's going on. And then they inject Cortana into the iconic chip that Cortana lives on, that Master Chief plugs into his head, and you spend countless hours in the boring ass Halo Infinite unplugging her, taking his chip out of his head and putting her in terminals. They took Cortana and injected him straight into his brain. So he don't even need a suit. And now he's like naked taking a dump, and Cortana shows up. Like goddamn Quantum Break and Gidget, what his name was.
I don't believe it.
No, it's true. It's all true. I'm not lying. This shit's true. Episode 3, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is damn true. Dude, he's in the bathroom taking a dump. And then they pulled out some sort of friggin' they took out some Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. Like, you got the transmitter in your back.
So
now,
no one at Microsoft
stick it up your nose to hear crunch.
About this. Somebody at Microsoft knew about. Nobody said this doesn't sound like a good idea. I know they saw the script or something. Like,
I don't know. He pulls out some device out of his ass, and it basically was a tracking device. Cortana said, "Let me help you with that." They took the scene right out of Total Recall when he's like, "Get your ass to Mars," and they're like, "Stick it up your nose to hear crunch. Be careful. It's my body too." There it is, a little bit further. And he's like, pulling out of his nose. Then he pulled out something out of his ass, some blue chip. And then Cortana's like, okay. And then he's like talking to his other Spartans. And Cortana just shows up. And they're like, who's this? And he's like, oh, that's my ghost lady that's just running around with me. It's like, what the hell is going on? Cortana just shows up and starts talking. Like, everybody sees her. Meanwhile, she's injected in his head. But everybody can see her, though. Like, it makes no sense. Cortana is injected into his friggin' skull, and then she pops up like a fifth character when he's talking to his other Spartans. I'm like, how do they see her? How do they see her? She's playing. If they could see her, then why the fuck did they put her in your head? If she could be shown to any spot and just inject her into a robot or something. It makes no, just have the clone walk around. Why did you inject her into him if she could just show up and talk to everybody? She turns up as a hologram because whenever she wants.
Clownery.
It is ridiculous. It is stupid. He's mean to her. He doesn't appreciate it. He's like, who are you? It is garbage. And it just shows, just like everything else, every other franchise, add it to the list of Crackdown 3, add it to Battletoads, Perfect Help. Keep taking all the franchises that I knew and you just shit on them because you're slapping that booty crap ass shit all over my franchises. I want everybody, all the franchises that Microsoft owns, I hate that they're buying them and owning more of them because I think they're like the fucking shit finger. Not gold finger, shit finger. Led by Matt Booty himself. Whatever they touch turns to shit. Conquer, shit conquer. They destroy every friggin' franchise they touch. Thank God they didn't make a Banjo game. They probably destroyed that. They probably said, you know what, guys? I think we shit on enough.
And bolts, but it didn't do too well.
Exactly. They shit on nuts and bolts.
They shit on it.
So they won't make another Banjo-Kazooie. Instead, they'll say, you know what? Let Nintendo have Banjo on Smash Brothers. We're not going to touch that shit anymore. And now they're up here buying IP. I see these stupid, these clowns on Twitter with these friggin', I swear, they don't play games. They must spend so much time in goddamn Canva making all these. Look at this studio working on unannounced projects. This working on 5 projects by Compulsion Games. Shut the. You know what? I'm not saying it. Arnold. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm wasting my voice on that stuff, but you guys are spending so much time talking about the what ifs and the whats, and I just showed what Game Pass looked like. Frog, he needs a friggin' he needs a vacation. He was working on the Xbox for a week.
These guys are not gamers. They're not gamers. They're not. They're just here for the console war.
Goddamn influencers.
They're here for the console war. They're here to be disruptive. But they're not here to be gamers. They don't play video games. You can look at the ones that do have their information public, you can look it up. But as soon as the bottom line is, it's just they're here for 3 reasons. Put your kids to bed right now. Just let you guys know. They're here for parties with the Phil Spencer Fellatio Factory in the last star to the left. That's what they're here for. You know, when you name a whole guy as a whole nother name, you make up a whole name for a whole man.
I don't even have this. Oh shit, I missed this whole thing. You know what? I'm bringing this topic up. You know what, the Grinds board? I'm breaking this shit up, this Grinds board. I have this thing here. Now that I'm all fired up now, my goddamn, my friggin' medication's kicking in now. My friggin' allergy medication. Here we go. I got some bullshit here. You want to see these clowns? Where the hell? Oh my God. Where is it? Where is this stuff? You want to see this? I got your Phil. Whoa. Where is it? Where is it? Holy crap.
Parties.
No. This is worse. This is worse. So look at this. Ready? That Xbox Ambassador program. Did you see this on the Twitters? Oh man, this grinding Mike.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh wait, Porter Rock. Here we go. Hear this. Here's a Xbox Ambassador. I'm gonna read this to you.
Okay.
For any Xbox Ambassador who still knows me, I quit the program yesterday. I won't go over the reason, but I did. But I know I got rid of the leash, and I have no more boundaries of speaking my thoughts on here. So long the always nice B. Ambassador policy is ruthless about it, I agree. I never come across this situation, but I know many did. Pretty unfair, to be honest. Say or make jokes about without having a zealous so-called community champion DMing you to say it doesn't look good as an ambassador. Yes, that's the reality of how uptight they are. Problem with the ambassador is that it's not only about video games. It's getting less and less about video games. If it was, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I know what you mean. I'm still an ambassador, and because of that, I really watch what I say on here and never speak my mind fully. Fuck you, bitches! This is what I'm talking about! There's the fucking leash! Hit my fucking sirens! This is what's going on with the fucking Twitters. Sorry for screaming in the mic. But this grinding my green gears. Look at this shit. This is exactly the leash. It's not about games anymore. It's about PR bullshit. This is it. See? This is what's going on. Ambassador my ass. Phil puts that strap on you and you have to walk around on a leash. Where's my goddamn sirens? You believe this shit? This is exactly what it is, and I know firsthand. I heard it. Can't speak your mind. They got you on a leash. Talk about PlayStation ponies? This is a fucking cult right here. A cult of people that don't have games and cap for bullshit without asking for better.
Yep. You are correct, sir. You are correct.
And a lot of them are doing it for free. They don't have
Holy Spirit.
My grinds board is on fire. I'm hitting every fucking button. Holy shit, I'm hitting everything.
I do not want to.
You know what's funny is a lot of them are doing it for free. They have no association with.
Yeah, a lot of them do it for free. A lot of them are doing it pro bono.
The only association they have is they've been to a couple of rooftop parties with Booty and some of these other guys.
I've seen this happen firsthand.
And Fellatio Factory in the bathroom, and I just don't understand why. Oh, you know what the CNC Factory is referring to.
I've seen it. They follow you on Twitter. Sarah Bond follows you. Now you're in check right now. You cannot really go on Twitter and talk about what you want. Phil Spencer followed me. You want to know what? I saw somebody begging Aaron Greenberg to follow them, and then he followed them. You want to know? And the guy had 300 followers, 200 followers. I went on his Twitter. He had nothing in there except just Xbox advertisements. And he's like, I wish Aaron Greenberg would just follow me, and tagged him. And Aaron Greenberg followed him. He's on the payroll. They follow you, and this is exactly what they do. Then you become in check. If you remember, I know we like Rand and stuff, but what was Rand saying? I remember when he said King Thrash, right?
When he talked about Crackdown, remember
when he talked about Crackdown? Phil called him up. Was like, oh.
Yep.
You know, he said it. He said it himself. He said it on King Thrash's podcast. Phil Spencer called him up. Frog knows we were like walking that line. We were walking in that stuff, and they didn't like what I got to say. So guess what? His grinds my gears right now. That's how it came about. People didn't like what I had to say.
Sense. They told the truth. We can't say that. Hey, rooftop
you can't say that. Frog, no, Jez, you can't say no. That's not good. Oh, you know what? I'll make my own channel.
Yeah, that's exactly why we couldn't really be on a podcast.
I couldn't be on an Xbox podcast because I did not like what Xbox was doing. Yep. So I created my own channel. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a microphone, and I'm just gonna say I've been a fan for all these years, and I don't like where they're going because it's not about the games anymore, and they're abandoning me, the core audience. That's why you say, "Well, what about Cat?" I'm not no goddamn pony. I don't care about Sony. All I know is that Sony's bringing great content, and I'm playing it. And that's what we should be celebrating. Instead, all I see all over is how the last place, or maybe now that they're selling something, should be the future. When it has no games.
Ignorance.
It's ignorance. It's ridiculous. I never seen just blind faith, like blind faith. Like when we fought, when we were fighting the Nintendo Sega battle, man, it was about all the shit. It was like, oh, I got the blood in Mortal Kombat. I got Mario. I got Sonic. It was back and forth banter, but everybody can make their case. There was bad games. It is not back and forth here. Sony's bringing it, and Microsoft has yet to prove itself. After a half a decade of not delivering the content that they used to do. Even when they were bad, they still gave you Rise Dead Rising, Titanfall deals, Rise of the Tomb Raider deals. You still got games. Even though they were bad, they decided, not you fans, they decided to shut down Lionhead. They decided to scrap up Scalebound. They decided to shut it all down. Just to go what? Go buy more studios and ramp it up again? It makes no goddamn sense. If they were all about the games, why would they shut down Lionhead? And then bring back Fable with goddamn Playground games. Makes no sense.
Didn't they shut down Lionhead around that time when Phil was talking about how single-player games weren't impactful?
Exactly, yeah. It was all about... it was 2016, 2015 is when they took the turn for death. Because they were talking about PC and all this other bullshit. I got videos back then. because all they were doing was shitting on the console. But this Xbox Ambassador program, this was supposed to be a program when you were on Xbox Live, you would like have other Xbox Live members that were new and that you would kind of like, show them the ropes and like kind of work this thing. Then it blew up into the social media platform, and that's where this stuff came about. Like, you're on a leash, and they have the community champion out there, the coach, the boss.
I tell you what,
DMing you saying it doesn't look good as an ambassador. So if you have Xbox in your name or you're an ambassador, you can't say a joke or anything about Xbox without being in check.
Because you know why? They're going to freaking check you and say, hey, cocksucker, what did I say? You're either a clown or a cocksucker.
Yep.
One or the
line.
There's no neutral bullshit here. You're going to be one or the other. Clown or cocksucker. And a lot of those guys who talk about Xbox and not even the gaming on Xbox, because I noticed they don't talk about the game on the Xbox. Very few of them
It's
do.
not about the
They're
game,
mostly talking about the Xbox and what Microsoft and Xbox and Microsoft and that. And I'm like, yo, you see a lot of PlayStation guys and you call them ponies, but these guys are playing
They're
their games,
dude.
How beautiful this game is. What is that? What's going on the other side?
You know, they're sharing screenshots. They're showing videos. They're doing stuff. This is the thing. Like, they're showing the stuff. You talk about 200 plus games and show me a list of games. Meanwhile, I don't see one screenshot of gameplay on your profile at all. I don't see you streaming shit. I see you hosting goddamn Twitter spaces like it's your fucking job. But I don't see a goddamn game stream, a photo of any one of your games. I know sharing sucks on Xbox, but Jesus, you got 250 games, you're paying through the nose $15 a month. Don't you think you should be playing something and sharing some gameplay or showing something? No. Let's host a Twitter space and talk about how Xbox is the future. Go fuck yourself, dude. And this tweet out of all of them that I read, when it said right here, because I wanted to just like, I wanted to go live as soon as I saw this tweet. It wasn't even about the whole like on a leash shit. You know, oh, sorry, Game Night, I missed a super chat. Oh shit. Now the grinders are putting me on a leash. Hold on, sorry, Game Night 123 says, I got you. Whew, I cool my tongue. Oof. I told you the friggin' meds are kicking in. When you have Xbox saying things, this is Game Night 123. Thank you very much. When you have Xbox saying things like, if PlayStation left the gaming space, there would be no impact felt, then you know they don't game. Exactly, Game Night. That's a great point. That's exactly. Like, yo, we could just have...
Wait. Who said that?
No, I saw some... You know what? Man.
Wait, please tell me. Man.
Somebody said... I think we know. It has I think it's somebody that has a school in their name, and they belong in the fucking dunce hat on their head.
Well, I'm gonna say that's the stupidest cocksucking clown shit I've ever heard.
Well, we gotta. Here's another one. This guy, I can't even talk to this freaking guy.
These quotes, man, are just ridiculous.
This guy,
come on now.
This guy, this guy came out of goddamn. They took this guy and he dug himself out of friggin' 2005, and he's like, hey, I'm back online. What's good? Xbox is rooting, right? This is the 360 era, dude. Go back into your cave, because he came out here and is just like, he thinks we're back into Xbox 360 era. And meanwhile, Xbox is getting trounced on right now. And he comes back here and goes, I never owned a PlayStation in my life. I have no desire to do so. And if they went away, nothing of value in gaming would be lost. Their devs would just go third party. This guy.
That guy's a clown and a
Add him
cocksucker.
to the list. Clowns and cocksuckers. Frog Adam.
DNC Gaming Factory. He's in there.
Add him to the list. I got to get you. Just made the list. This is what I mean. This is the shit that's on Twitter. This is what being an Xbox fan is. Come on. And I know PlayStation fans, there's some crazy shit out there. But these guys, because I was an Xbox fan for the longest time, get the fuck out of here, please, with this shit. Really? I never owned one, and they could just go away. Are you kidding me? Please. Don't fucking see this clown. Take a week.
Xbox left the gaming space.
I know he decided to come back on YouTube. And I watched his first video. He's like, I've been playing Halo 2 for the longest time, and now I decided to come back onto YouTube and do my channel. It's like, go back to fucking 2005, because that's where your mindset is. The hell out of here. But I'm just like, it's just so ridiculous, this leash. And like I said, the thing that grinded me up so much about this whole thing, and fuck the grinds boy now, I'm pissed now. You know, because I saw this tweet, and this thing, when they said here, it's getting less and less about video games. It's because it's more of a PR for Xbox to look good on a holistic level, and it has nothing, because it's less about video games because they don't have any games to be coming out with, to be talking about. So people have to make the news. I see people on Twitter begging Phil and Aaron, give us something to share. Give us some news. Give us something. And it's just so sad. I don't get it. Like, it's just so sad because there's no games to play. They left you high and dry. I thought at least they were going to carry Halo with content. You want to see what they got with content? I'm going to show you what they got with content. Tell me how ass backwards this shit is. They're releasing more exciting updates for Master Chief Collection. Firefight Flood. Fucking Firefight is in Halo Infinite. No, we don't have Halo Infinite with Firefight, but we're going to add Firefight Flood to Halo 3 and Halo ODST co-op crossplay. You believe this shit? Do you believe this shit? They're adding Halo 3 and ODST co-op crossplay. Not only do they have co-op, crossplay co-op, and Firefight Flood. A custom game browser to find any game that you want across all of these multiplayers. And that's just for starters. They made the Master Chief Collection better than Halo Infinite. I told you there was a better Halo out there. I told you. They got to pull people sad. From this.
This is fucking sad.
That's what they're doing. They're walking backwards. And then here you go.
And by no way, any shape, or form, people that really love the franchise should you be rooting for this. This is sad.
The brand new game that came out in November doesn't have co-op.
Shit, not your new shit.
They don't even know when it's coming out, Frog. And they added cross-play co-op to Halo 3 and Halo ODST with Flood. Firefight. Firefight, for those people that don't play Halo, is a 4-person wave-based shooter. It was awesome. You have grunts, you have all the things coming after you. You have you have jackals, you have the hunters coming after you. And now they added Flood to that. And now look, Halo Infinite is almost being surpassed by Master Chief Collection.
Yes, you know what I can say to this? There is a positive to this. At least they're doing better than Battlefield. Oh shit.
Battlefield, that was a fucking
1,000 players online? Oh shit.
That's a mess. But look at this. They've adding the updates that people want. Master Chief Collection, and look how long it took them to fix Master Chief Collection. Even that was a disaster. They milked the shit out of that thing too. But they're added better updates to Master Chief than Infinite. Halo Infinite is getting too much. You want to see something else? Here's this. Hit that like button, everybody, because this is the stuff that nobody wants to show you. Look at this. You want to see something else? Where is it? I have it right here. You want to tell me how Halo 5 was better than Halo Infinite? Look at this. Halo 5 launch maps, 20 maps. They had a total of 20 maps across both Arena and Warzone. And then you look, and you got, it released in October 2015, and by June 2016, 2 more months from now, they had 15 more maps arriving. It launched with 20, with an additional 15 maps arriving between October 2016 as free DLC. 35 maps in Halo. 35.
Because of that rat. They had to get that rat down, get the textures right on that rat.
Yeah, exactly. Halo 5, 35 maps by this time when it launched. And they're giving you 2 maps. And it launched with 2 big team battle maps and like 4 or 5 arena maps. And 3 big team battle maps. And now they're adding 1 more big team battle map and 1 more arena map, bringing the total to less than what Halo 5 launched with. And get ahead. Tell me Halo Infinite is back. Brought Halo back, and Halo 5 is garbage. Please, I can't wait for somebody to tell me that. Like, this is the truth. I knew Halo 5 had so many friggin' maps in it. And then they had Forge, and people made more maps onto it. We don't even know when Forge is coming for Halo Infinite. This is what Game Pass has done to Halo. This is what service-based Halo has done to itself. You're getting one map, 2 maps, one of each in 6 months. They didn't even tell you how long Season 2 is going to be. They're not going to tell you till May 3rd. There you go. Almost 20. It launched with 20 maps and an additional 15 maps between October and 2016. So it launched in October 2015, and by June 2016, they had another 15 maps. Now you're getting 2. So tell me about not buying games. Tell me about subscribing to games. Tell me about services and how Game Pass has saved Xbox.
Jez, I got a question.
Please.
Do you think that Halo Infinite was really 343's vision? Or you think there was another vision before that Microsoft kind of made him scrap and said, look, you got to have this model and this model?
Well,
I feel like the game was in development hell because they had a whole nother model from the get-go.
I think so. I think they had some sort of model, but I do think, because if you recall, they said that Halo Infinite was going to be huge. There was a lot of stuff in it, and they had to pull it out. That's why the campaign was so dire, because they took out like 2/3 of the game. It was supposed to be a lot bigger and stuff like that, and they pulled it out, and it wasn't ready, and it was too ambitious, and that's why it looked like the way it did in July when they showed it, was because that they were spread too thin. They were trying to do too much, and the quality dropped. So they took it all back, and they said, just make something that's compatible, that's something that's competent, and release it that way. And that's what they did, and added it over time. But this is why we have a problem here with Game Pass and subscription gaming. When it's the main thing, and it's taking these main franchises and funneling it right through this hellgate. And this is what I don't want to happen.
Somebody in the chat said something that I totally agree with. That was a good analogy. It was like Halo is basically now, it's like if RoboCop 1 were to come out now in theaters. The same RoboCop from 1991 were to come out in theaters right now in 2022. That shit would be ass. Shit would be ass. That shit would be so ass.
And this is the thing, Frog, and you're right, because look at this. Like, this is the
thing. I like that.
You see how you could customize in Halo 2? You could put anything on your Halo character, any color. All this now is all behind battle passes and stuff. The armor coatings and stuff. You cannot make this armor. You have to buy or earn the
developers have been given roadmaps, man. When we look at some of these the biggest games, and I put this on Twitter, you can tell there's a roadmap, and all they had to do is really follow that roadmap and reinvent itself. And it's like with Halo, I don't know how you mess Halo up, but they definitely did. It's like they didn't just reinvent themselves. Like they just said, we don't know what we're doing. 10-year plan. We need something like a big seller like Destiny or Fortnite. That's what I think they went with. Yeah, you know, somebody walked into that room and said,
dude.
Somebody walked in that room and said, make me Destiny or Fortnite. Something that big. And that's what they went with. That's why we got the Halo we got.
But it's not even equivalent to those. Those were better services and better things that are out there that Halo had to start at. Instead, they're there before these things even became big. That's the problem. Like, Halo is not even at where it should have been to even compete with these games. It's in the ass end. And what are those games going to look like 4 years from now when Halo gets its shit together? This is the thing we're saying about customization, right? The new Halo Infinite blog post has good stuff. Cross-core customizations. That's something that they're added to it. That means that if you get a blue and silver coating, you could put it on other body parts. It doesn't have to be just the arm. You could do cross this thing. And it says they're fixing this at max rank 152 skin. No proper progression system though. And then people are going, look at Halo 2. You could customize every little piece of like every little piece of armor. And they're like, and this is what, Frog, I just want to read this. Like, and if you read, this is the community guy. This is not the community guy, but this is a main guy that he does, Mint Blitz does Halo content. And then you look and says, I can't express my player identity. Then you see somebody go, you'll be able to when the store gets updated for $20. Hell no. 343 will probably charge more than $20 for that. I mean, it's something I actually want. Got to be in the store for at least $30 to get me hurt in a special way. People, this is the community talking about this game. It's a mockery. They're mocking it. Because they took away everything you used to do in Halo, and they Frankenstein it and they put it behind a paywall.
I was gonna say, what's really interesting to me is the way this game was developed. It seemed like, in my eye, because I heard somebody once again, it wasn't Sunday, it was actually today. I heard somebody that primarily plays on Xbox say, well, two people that said that Horizon Forbidden West came out and was a bug riddled disaster. And I don't know what game they were playing. I didn't feel that way. It had some small hiccups here and there, but they basically made it found. The way you would hear it, you would think it was another Cyberpunk. I've heard a certain king that shall not be named said the same thing. It came out, it was a bug riddled disaster. GT. So, and I always sit back and I listen to these guys. Right, I watch the games that come out on Xbox. I see what's going on behind the scenes, and I just think, man, is Game Pass really worth the quality of games you're getting now? Because I hear people all the time say, well, Game Pass is not making the games worse. The budget is not. They don't have an unlimited budget. They just have to make what they make. And the thing is, this is the reason why we're getting games like Halo. What do you expect if Halo is like this? And by every stretch of the means, almost every single studio we've heard about in the last month or so is having development problems.
Yep.
There's something that's going on, and it feels. This was so bad about it. As a gamer, it worries me for the industry because, like I said, I don't think you want Xbox to totally go away. I think them being here does something,
games, dude. It's been the same for 5 years, and it's just like. And then wait to Halo. Wait to Halo.
Because they have the money. I think that's one reason to go away because they can do whatever they want and save face, and they can just come out. My whole thing is just like, I don't know if the community over there that is playing primarily there, how happy you can be with a console that keeps giving you significant failure after failure that you are no longer interested in because you only pay $15 a month. Maybe that's the reason they can get away with it because they're like, look, they're only paying $15 a month. Dude, next month they're not going to be interested in this.
I think the thing is that they're all stacked right now.
That's what I'm wondering. How do you grow?
Yeah, and I think the thing is that I don't think a lot of them are paying $15 a month. I think a lot of people are stacked. And if you remember, 2019.
You know what my Game Pass told me? You know what my Game Pass told me when I booted my Xbox? How much I can get it for? $1 a game.
Yes,
but you got to realize this too. A lot of these guys that are capping, like you said earlier, aren't actually playing video games anyway, so they don't care about the quality. They're not playing them games anyway.
I never thought about that, Link. I like that one.
Frog,
they're not playing. They're not. I mean, they may put an hour into one of these games just to say they played it, but they're not actually playing these games. So to them, it doesn't matter. It's all about being a cheerleader for Xbox. It's not even about the quality of the games. They don't care about that.
Get that follow, get that like. But you know what's interesting, as I was saying about the $15, is that they're not paying. I don't think they're paying $15 a month. If you look, when they started this whole stacking thing, everybody's like, I upgraded for $1. I turned my $60 Xbox Live into,
I did.
You did. You only could do that for 3 years. That started in 2019 with Gears Ultimate. Now,
it runs out this year.
It ends this year. Exactly. So next year or the end of this year, you're going to start seeing people going, now it's time to pay the piper. They can't stack anymore. They can't buy a year of Game Pass. And I think that's why we're getting inklings of this whole restructuring of Xbox Live, this family plan, and maybe a year subscription where they cut some money out or they raise the bottom. And I think that might be something they might do. Maybe they'll do like, well, 1 year instead of being $180, maybe it will be $130, but then they're going to make the bottom $15 a month. And they're going to kind of entice people to sign up for the year and also increase the base price. But it's coming because it has to come this year because we're 3 years into this. All those dudes that were capping for Game Pass for 3 years because they bought 3 years of Xbox Live and upgraded for $1. So they got 3 years stacked. until this year it's over, because it was only for 36 months that you can do that with, and it started in 2019. So this is the year where now you're going to start paying $15 a month. So maybe Microsoft knows this, and maybe that's why they delayed all their games. So next year they start rolling them out. I don't know, and they try to get that base price up, but it's coming to an end. The party's over. Phil's coming to cash his check. Where do you think this money's coming from? Paying billions of dollars for Activision and Boot. This is all coming with the plan that they're going to raise the prices and give you less shit. That's exactly what's going.
Here's another thing.
For less stuff. There you go.
Here's another thing I thought about. This is a question to you guys. Let's just say, let's be wrong. Let's just say Starfield is the bomb. Like game of the year quality.
Let's just say that, right? Frog, are you signing up $15 a month to play it?
Well, here's my point,
I'm not.
Jazz.
I'm just buying it.
Here's my point, Jazz. Starfield comes out, bomb-ass game. Perfect Dark comes out, Fable comes out, bomb.
Back to back?
Like,
is it Frog? Wait, is it back to back though?
In 1 year they get maybe 3 big-ass games out.
Okay.
And they're just the shit, right? You know what the thing is? Me just saying all that, it's all hypothetical. That's all Xbox guys do. Speak hypothetical shit. When you can see the paintings on the wall that these studios are having problems, how can you hypothetically think that somehow miraculously you're going to get 3 big bombs? I hear these Xbox, they're delusional as fuck. That's why I call them clowns and cocksuckers, because they're so fucking delusional. How can you really think sitting there and listening to people that you say you like, they're telling you they're having problems in these studios, you still think these games are going to be bangers? We don't really know, and we've been saying this till our face turns to blue. We don't know what Starfield is, and I'm hoping that Starfield comes out, and I'm hoping that Starfield comes out, and it makes me want to grab my Xbox and play it. But I don't think so, and maybe I'll be wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong, but damn, like you consistently and constantly see, you don't see growth. They look. Let me tell you, companies a lie to you. This is obviously a lie. Like it has to be. You can't. And people say, "Oh, why worry about their pockets?" Yeah, they're a $1 trillion company, but you can't make money off this. And if you're spinning that narrative that you're doing so well and you made this money, you're not. Your user base is not growing. We didn't see the user base of the Xbox One to the Xbox One, X or whatever. We didn't see that user base grow, and we continuously saw PlayStation's user base go into PS4, Switch user base, and Switch is kind of like an anomaly. It's a little bit different, but even this generation, we're looking at the user base, and this is start of generation. So that first 2 years is kind of key. But God of War comes out, and I think Sony's biggest problem right now is they cannot put out as many consoles as they want.
Yep.
Rumor alert: Microsoft was supposed to have, stepped in line and bought some money and said we putting chips out first. I don't know if that did that or not.
I'm not even reporting on that thing because I don't know.
That's scummy if they did that.
No,
but even
I know they wanted more blades.
People have to
I know they want the chip of blades.
People have to understand, because I know you're going to talk about this. People have to understand, when you see an NPD, you see an report that says Xbox did better. They got a whole Series S that's so much easier to throw together. There's $299, and there's some. I don't want to say the R word. There's some really ass.
I got a booster quote for you. Here you go. Frog.
There's some people that go out there and buy that, not knowing what they're really getting.
Frog, here's a quote for you from Booster. Here we go. Where is it? Come on, Digital Foundry.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't want to play.
Well, why are you getting that? Do you think that Game Pass is going to do yearly service now, since Sony has some kind of yearly thing going? Because I think they are.
Because I think that $180 they can't do a year. But I just want to answer your question where you said if they had Starfield and that was a banger, and then Perfect Dark, and then Fable. Say they came out in like December and February and June. You want to know what?
That's not gonna make me subscribe to Game Pass. I'll buy those games individually, but I'm not subscribed.
I'm just about to say that. I would just buy those games at $60 at face value. Like I wouldn't pay $15 a month to play those games. Like that's the thing. Like I wouldn't do that.
I can play those games throughout the year and don't have to worry about the rest of the trash.
Exactly, because the thing is like for me, I'm not one of those people that buys a game and then I'm playing. I have 20. I could beat it in a week. And so like I milk my games, and I'm in Horizon, I'm just enjoying it. But then I might jump into Elden Ring. I'll go jump into wrestling. I'll jump in. I just went back to Uncharted to play it. Imagine if I bought Uncharted back in January, and like I'm now in June. I didn't beat it yet. I would have been paying $15 a month for Uncharted when I had to go back and play it. Now, if I stopped my subscription in February, I wouldn't go back and play it. But if I own the game, I bought it, I could play it anytime I want to. So it really, like those games, if they could come out that quickly, I wouldn't want to subscribe and be forced to say, I got to beat this game in a month or so because I'm going to pay another month if I don't beat this. You know what I mean? I bought this for Elden Ring. Or I will
honestly say, though, Jazz, at this point,
Starfield, I got to beat it, but I got to get it at like
Starfield. Starfield is the benchmark of, I think, what's to come from their studios. If Starfield comes out and it's really buggy and really bad at launch, I think that's kind of like to say, like, this is what you should expect. But if Starfield can come out, and I think it can come out well received, which I think it will, because you got a lot of journalists, so-called gaming journalists, that for some reason they're riding this Xbox is back gaming hype, so they'll score these games really good.
IGN.
Yeah, they'll score them really good, and then the PlayStation will come out with a game. They'll dog track. They will dog walk it. That's why I don't expect God of War Ragnarok to come out this year and score well. I don't.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when you're talking about S, like people buying the S.
What I was
stick on topic of this, like people not knowing what they're getting, and we're seeing that the S is really not holding up as a next gen console. It's capable machine if you just want to play games, but if they're trying to say this is a next gen console, it's not. Like, this is a transitional console, and it is getting already
look, I was in go ahead, guys.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I got the video here.
I was in I don't really ever go to GameStop, but I wanted a copy of Kingdom Hearts 3 or whatever because I didn't ever play it. And so I went up in there to get it. And there was a guy in line ahead of me, and he was asking the guy at the counter, like, the PS5, and he was like, "We don't have any, PS5s." And he was like, "Oh dang!" He said, "Well, we got the." He said, "But if you want a next gen console, we have a lot of the Xbox Series S." And he's like, "What is that?" The guy, he didn't really. I mean, he didn't really know what it was. He's like, "It's Microsoft's new next gen console or whatever." And he was like, "Is it like a PlayStation?" He's like, "Yeah, it's just like it, He said, it's just as powerful." He said it's just as powerful. I said, "Oh my God." He said it plays the same games, and you can get Game Pass and pay $10 a month and get access to like all these different games. And the guy looked at him and he was like, "I think I'll just wait, man." Like, it didn't work. It didn't work that time, but he was not telling the truth. This guy was like, he told him it was just as powerful. Now, I didn't say anything. I didn't get involved in it, but
but then when he said, like, you can just pay $10 a month and play all these games, people just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in another subscription.
No,
I don't. But I mean, he lied to that guy, but he didn't buy it.
Games.
Yeah, like
I don't know what game. You ever hear of Tunic? Tunic? Like, this is what I mean. Like, anyway, yeah, and exactly, like, this is the thing. Like, you got to tell people that to subscribe to play games, and that is a whole other concept, because the problem, and Phil says it, like, you could do other things and buy games, but you're kind of funneling people through the subscription model. That's why you're buying all these big publishers. That's why you're putting all your games in Game Pass. Don't give me the Philness bullshit where, every model could be successful on Xbox. You could buy your games, you could subscribe, you could play them in the cloud. Any model would work. No, bullshit. You're funneling everybody down a certain pathway, Phil. You could say to be kumbaya, but that's not the reality.
When you're making the kind of moves they are buying up these huge publishers, what they're doing is they're trying to force people. When you do things like they did a couple years ago, which was get rid of the $60 option on their store, on their storefront, because most people aren't as informed as you may think. They may not know that they can go online to CD Keys or different websites, Amazon, and buy these cards, right? And so what they're doing is they're manipulating the market to force people into the service.
Yes.
They know exactly what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to jack up the price when they get the games that people want to play. They're going to increase the price just like Netflix did. Oh, Stranger Things is coming. Let's increase our prices. And that's you could go buy the game, but guess what? The better version is going to be there. Just look at Frog was saying. He wanted to play Hive Busters, but he's not paying $15 for Hive Busters and Gears 5 again. But guess what, Frog? If you hit that little green button that says buy it in Game Pass, you could play Hive Busters. So even though the option is there to purchase it, that is going to be the sucker version. Like, and not saying you're a sucker if you buy it, but they're making that version less enticing. It's like saying,
man, hold on.
Wait, I want to read the Game Night super chat before you go, Frog. He goes, I think MLB is a perfect example. It's available everywhere. It's on Game Pass, but people are still buying it rather than rushing out to sub to it. Exactly. Baseball season's long. If you want to play your whole season and road to the show, you're going to be paying $15 a month until October for if that's the only game you're really interested in. Just buy it for $60-$70 and you're in. You know what I mean? Like, and it's yours. You can play it whenever. And that's the thing. You don't have to be worried about this. And that's the problem that Microsoft has. If they got to get third party in there. They got to have a cadence of big releases and little releases. They got to have there's so much pressure on them, and thank you again for the super chat. There's so much pressure on them to deliver a service, a content service that is engaging, that people want to be there every single week. And what's next? What's next? I can't wait. What's next? And that's what they need to be. And actually, all they've been is the complete opposite. They have been delaying stuff, not getting the big third-party games. They should have got. If I was in Game Pass and if I wanted a cap for Game Pass and say to sign up, they should have had Elden Ring in there. They should have had Tiny Tina's Avenger. Maybe not Elden Ring, but then you get Tiny Tina's. Maybe WWE should have been in there in Game Pass while you're waiting for a Starfield or something like that. They should have been having those big third-party games in Game Pass. They should have had GTA back in Game Pass with the online for free GTA in there. Like, they're not with the times. You look, their Game Pass is not current. The best release in Game Pass is like just what Game Night said. It's MLB The Show. Is that going to be the best release in Game Pass every year? Besides their first party? Last year, at least they got Outriders, which was a surprise. This is what I mean. And oh man, I could go on. This stuff drives me crazy because you look at Outriders last year, look at the ebbs and flows of this whole thing. They went with Outriders. Your last year's April, say you've been playing Game Pass for a year. Last year, you got MLB and Outriders. Outriders was what it was, but it was the biggest third-party game in the time frame of last year, right? Look at how the quality of this month, April, compared to last month. You're just getting MLB The Show. Where's your big third-party game that you got last year? And this is what happens when you're at the mercy of a subscription. And Microsoft has no consistency. And what happened at the beginning of this year? What happened after MLB The Show? They didn't have really any big games elsewhere. They gave you the port of Flight Sim, Psychonauts in October, Forza, Halo, and now you're waiting again, MLB The Show. It's all over the place. There's no consistency. I know Outriders, who cares? But at the time, everybody was talking about the demo and then the surprise that it came in Game Pass. Where's their big get now? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just shows you that there's there's inconsistencies here. And when you look at Sony's release schedule, Sony's releasing games that, man, if they said those games were day and date in a subscription, holy crap, they'll sell that subscription overnight because those are games that people want to play. And that's the whole point of Game Pass. There's nothing in there that's a must-play right now. And if there's something in there, if it's just a one-off, like, Starfield, you're just going to buy it. Everybody who wants to play Starfield is going to buy it. The people who don't give a shit about Starfield and want a cap for Game Pass is going to play it in Game Pass. But they really don't care about Starfield because if you do, you're just going to buy it like MLB The Show. If you're like, I can't wait to play Starfield, people are just going to buy it. And then other people are going to try it out. And Phil Spencer's begging on the conversion rate. But going back to the S, and like what Frog was saying with the booster, we've been seeing this now, this consistency here. And here what Lindemann has say.
seem like they may want parity with Series S, because you could do this on Series S as well, but the frame rate was very low in this version, right? And, you know, I don't see that as a problem. There's been a number of games released that have ray tracing features on Xbox Series X, but not Series S. But maybe they're unwilling to do that. I mean, I think it might be possible in Series S if they lowered the resolution enough. I mean, you were saying, Alex, like if you drop it to 480p and cap it at 30, it might actually work, right?
480p.
Sure, it's Minecraft, right? Yeah.
It is Minecraft, but it is path-based on Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's not an unsubstantial undertaking to run that on Xbox Series S in a world where a lot of developers are just looking at RT on Series S and saying, nope.
Tell me what you guys think of this. It does seem like...
So you got a bunch of games, I talked about it last week, about a bunch of games, just no ray tracing on that. And then what's hilarious is, you know, somebody went after Red Dragon for that thing, and then he was like, yeah, look at what they had. Hello, can you hear me? I frog, you're on mute.
I can hear you.
Mike, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, look, DirectX hardware ray tracing in the Series S. And now we're like 2 years in, and they're ready. They say they could drop Minecraft. They're impatient. Drop Minecraft to add ray tracing to Minecraft. They're saying on the S, you'll drop, maybe if they drop it to 480p and 30 frames per second. What is that? Progressive scan? 480p. Sub HD. To implement ray tracing in goddamn Series S on Minecraft.
There we go. I'm back. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we're here.
Make sure. Okay.
Yeah, I was just going over John Lindeman's listening to how we're 2 years in and their developers are already dropping ray tracing for the Series
Well, I mean,
S.
you know, I watched Moore's Law's podcast, and he had NX Gamer on there, and they were just talking about this. They were talking about, you know, my Xbox and just different things, but the Series S in particular, the low amount of RAM, the split memory pool, the split RAM pool, and the so not only do you have a low amount of RAM, but you have the bandwidth, because of the speed of the RAM is so slow, and then on top of that, it's partition. I mean, not partition. It's like what, it's got 10 gigs of RAM, right? And it's got 8 gigs of higher speed and 2 gigabytes of slower speed, whatever. It's got the split RAM pools. So the bottleneck on that console, although the GPU is very weak, it's the memory bandwidth on that console is abysmal. And devs are having a hard time working with it. And when you look at games like that Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, when it's got PS2 textures,
yep.
I mean, you know, no joking. Like, seriously,
no joking. No,
you know what I'm saying? It's got horrible textures. Yes.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, Digital Foundry did a video comparing that.
PS5?
No.
The Series S version of the game, the texture quality.
Holy crap! I was about to say
the texture quality is horrible.
There it is.
Texture quality horrible. So I mean, it's a terrible console.
Yeah, I got the video.
And devs aren't excited about working with this.
Here it is.
They can't
overstate how different the game looks on Series S. It often looks like a PS3 or 360 rendition of a last-gen game. Some of the textures wouldn't look out of place in a PS2 title. Just take a look at this pillar. Series S is using a much simpler mesh, without any of the sloped shingles on Series X, nor the properly rounded off cylinders. Texture-wise, it looks like a blurry mess, with individual ridges just barely discernible and most of the normal map detail gone. It has been dramatically simplified, and not in a very artful way. It looks sort of like an algorithmically decimated asset that might be used for a distant LOD. This lamppost looks perfectly fine on Series X. The lamp has skeletal, knuckle-like ridges, with slits that let out light, like gaps in a leg bone. There is some interesting art here, and the tech, while unexceptional, at least gives the artists enough fidelity to play with to make it work. Series S? Well, see for yourself. Most of the detail and the artistic intent behind it is gone. Obviously, the Series S has a deficit in memory. 10 gigabytes of RAM are available on Series S. 6 GB less than PS5 and Series X. But this level of asset quality is inexplicable and absolutely unacceptable in a current-gen game. I've never seen anything like it on Series S. Some of the cutscenes have been strangely altered on Series S. The expected downgrades do pop up here. Texture detail is much lower, for instance. The differences in scene lighting are very odd, however. This cinematic is much brighter on Series S, with much stronger bloom. Screen space reflections are also absent here in the cinematic on Series S, despite being present in the gameplay that immediately follows. Perhaps the strangest difference between the platforms, however, is the general absence of ambient occlusion on Xbox Series X and S. PS5 has a strong and pretty good ambient occlusion effect, whereas on Series X and S, the ambient occlusion is much more limited in some scenes, and at other times seems entirely absent. As it stands, Stranger of Paradise looks strangely flat and simple on Microsoft's current-gen machines.
Both of them.
But on
both of them. So not only does the S look like boosted shit, where they go, oh, hardware ray tracing.
I lied.
Exactly. And then they go, basically now the textures look horrible. Then they expand it even further and say that the X and S don't have an ambient occlusion and that it looks flatter and better on PlayStation. You know why? Because this is Herman Holtz. Herman Holtz goes into these studios and does this.
You're not going to have your mommy stand behind you anymore and wipe your little douches. No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball have to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom. Shut.
That's right. That's what happens. Quality games. But this booster, and then this ties into the whole like, oh, Xbox winning in sales. Hold your tongue. They're selling this thing. This is what they're selling. This is what they're selling. Boosters. They're selling booster.
You know what else too about that game? Also that you didn't hear.
What?
And there's two modes. Obviously, there's a performance mode and a fidelity mode. In the fidelity mode on the Xbox versions, the frame rate is capped at 30 frames per second. On the PlayStation version, it's uncapped. It can go higher than 30 as well. So it's pretty clear that the devs just pretty much did one version for the damn Xbox, and they didn't do a whole lot of tweaks. Not saying that the Series X can't, but they're not even trying.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You know, and the dev told me. I remember talking to somebody, and they said what you'll see and what we do see is that they'll start patching in features after the game ships because they just have to get the game out and running on the lowest common denominator, which is the Series S, and then the higher higher end model consoles will suffer because they may not be feature complete until they patch it.
Oh my god! Now this is them onto everything. They go. They look at a game. They go.
Sir, complete an Xbox.
We get the win this time.
The Xbox ambassador quote.
Sir,
what'd you say? What'd you say, Frogs?
Do we get the win this time?
No, I said, or the PS5 will come out and it'll be like feature complete, and the Xbox want to suffer from that.
Right.
And you'll wonder why it's not performing as well. It's because you have a weaker console that you basically. Let's just be real. I kind of feel like this is the Xbox One S. They might as well have called it that. I mean, that's their version of it, and it's like it just irritates me because I think they could have probably put their resources and said, look, we're just going to sell this $4.99 console. Once again, Microsoft didn't want to be the power. Be beat at power or be beat at price. But they beat Sony at price. But what you got to see the repercussions from that. So you beat Sony $100 at price, but you created a system that is trash. For the monitor, you see what I'm saying? Sony was like, here's a digital, here's a disc. Microsoft's like, well, here's our new console. Oh, by the way, here's a very weak version of our console, that basically is digital only, and it's $299. Ooh, look at that price. It's your next generation if you get it. They're lying to you. They're really lying.
The thing is, like, this hardware, we're stuck with this hardware no matter what kind of revision they do to it, no matter what kind of mid-gen refresh, devs have to support this shit.
And I don't
it don't even matter. It don't even matter. Even if they did, it's still got to be supported the entire generation.
That is true.
Doesn't even matter. Once you launch a console, Microsoft's not gonna allow devs to not put software on that console.
Are you saying, Link, that the S is gonna hold back the generation?
Oh yeah, it's gonna hold third-party games back for sure.
Especially when it's, and this is the problem I have with people celebrating that this console's selling more because the X and the PS5 are not in stock. Like, yeah, the S is winning. That's why Microsoft is selling so much. And it's like, do you realize, like, you don't want this one to be the most
you don't want it to be your best
console out
there. It really doesn't matter. It's got to be supported no matter how many of them.
It's going to be supported. But like the thing is that you don't want a developer coming there and Xbox is like, okay, well, you got to make this work on the S and the X. And they go, okay, so where's primarily people gaming? Oh, well, like 75% of the people are on the S and the 25% are on the X. Okay, well, I'll just upgrade my game for the X and I'll optimize it for the S. Thank you. And now you're getting a game optimized for the console. Like, they're gonna have to make sure that this game, they can't just like say, I'm just gonna make this game run the best it can on the X and then be like, oh, screw if it's shitty on the S. Like, no. This is the problem with this whole concept. Like, you should have just made a discless X and called it a day. Like, you made this power differential.
You make decisions like this when you're not trying to push gaming forward.
Exactly.
When you're just trying to push people into this service.
Yep.
They needed a cheap piece of hardware and to be the entry point into Game Pass, and that's what you get.
That's what it is. And you're right.
Look, this service is driving their whole business model when it comes to the gaming division.
And they're purchasing of studios and publishers. This service is doing that as well. This service is turning Halo into what it is. This service has a big negative effect on the approach of how Microsoft is conducting their gaming business. This model, this service and cloud model, just like what Link said, it made them not care about the consoles, not worry about, even though they'll fluff you up with the most powerful console, they also gave you the weakest console of the generation, the most powerful and the weakest. And they don't care. Buy whatever, play wherever. Play on a fucking phone. I don't care. They don't care as long as you're giving Phil his monthly porno subscriptions. That's all he cares about. You're just paying those fees. They don't care.
And you're paying for rooftop parties. That's what
and you're paying for a follow and an Xbox refrigerator with Wolverine boots and donuts in the fridge. Like, it doesn't, and nail polish to go along with it, and an Xbox jacket, and an Xbox doll.
Nail polish,
Xbox jackets, Xbox dolls, Xbox everything, Xbox the flamethrower. Like, I wish, but like they don't care. They're throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks, and this is hurting. The decisions are not very good, and like what Link says, it's not moving the game industry forward. It's actually helping them seek what they want to extract out of the game industry at our expense. And the expense is the games. When you look at what Sony's doing, look at what Horizon is. I said this, Horizon Forbidden West, if you don't like it, you like it. But what that game does will inspire other developers to do something similar. Make hair look like that. Make the environments, the clouds, look like that in their game. Have a day-night cycle and lighting like that in their game. Have a mission structure. Have a bow and arrow. Have the implementation of the DualSense work in their bow and arrow game like that. There will be some inspiration from Horizon Forbidden West that another developer will take and move forward. Just like we've seen with games like The Witcher. There are the side missions and stuff like that. That inspired Horizon Forbidden West to make better side missions. Like, they pulled better side missions than they had in the first one. So, like, they get inspired. That moves everything forward. When you make high-quality games that doing something amazing and different, the ray tracing in Ratchet and Clank, this is how it's done, everybody. You want to see it? This ray tracing performance mode, this is how it's done in Spider-Man. Oh, you know what? I'll put that in my game. That's how you move the industry forward. You don't hamper it with some sort of lies and bullshit and tramp stamps on a box saying DirectX ray tracing, and this thing is already getting dropped like a bad can of beans 2 years in already, like, it's not getting ray tracing in a bunch of games that have it on the X. That's not good. That means you're going to be forced to upgrade. They suckered you into buying this thing, and now you're going to say, oh, well, you know what? I want to play the best. Well, I'm just going to upgrade now. I'll get this to, like, in the den. And now you're the sucker that had to buy 2 Xboxes. Nonetheless, it's 512 gigabytes, and then you got to buy a $400 memory card or a $250 memory card. We talked about it last week. So, like, they got you. And there's a lot of sly bullshit. I'm not saying Sony doesn't do it either, with some of their stuff. But at least they're attempting to move the industry forward. And the same thing with VR. Like, VR is something in there, and they're excited. And this is exactly what they did with the PS5. When the PS5 was announced, you see developers excited to develop for it. And Jez Gordon had a search for Xbox people, devs, to say, are you excited for the X too? And they're like, yeah. But it was all self-proclaimed success and self-proclaimed excitement from Xbox. Xbox Hovis method. Mr. Hovis says Xbox is the shit. It's like, yeah, it's all self-proclaimed. But when a PlayStation announces something, these devs come out of the woodwork and go, I can't wait to work on this. That just happened at the Game Developers Conference with the PSVR 2. They were coming out going, I can't wait to make games at PSVR 2. It wasn't Jim Ryan and his son coming out. His son's like, Dad, I think you have a great device there. No, it wasn't all the self-proclaimed from the Sony interview camp. This is every developer working. So when developers are just coming out and naturally saying they're excited to work with them because they were inspired by it, that's the natural organic growth that fucking people are talking about and gets mocked. Xbox go organic. Ha 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 ha. No, that's the stuff.
Whatever your name is,
not the self-proclaimed
get ready for the big
success.
surprise.
It's not Phil Spencer sitting there with Sarah Bond looking at goddamn PowerPoint slides that they probably created together, telling each other how Game Pass is doing. That's self-proclaimed in a bubble bullshit. And that is all marketing. That has nothing to do with real facts and people's real emotions for Game Pass. And when we talk about Game Pass and show what the industry says, like, hey, I'm not putting my game in there just yet. I'll wait. I'll put it in after. Guardians of the... I'll put it in after. You're not seeing devs go running into Game Pass. You're not getting a flood of third-party games coming in every month from third-party. Nonetheless, first-party. Instead, Microsoft has to go out and buy huge-ass publishers to get content for their service because no publishers are coming to their door saying, please put me in your Game Pass. No. So Phil has to go buy you and force you down the Game Pass hole because it's not naturally happening. And I say it time and time again. You want a model? Just look at Mixer. They tried having original content in Mixer. They fired everybody in July after E3 2019 because the original content was not growing the platform. Mike Ybarra left. They go and say, guys, it's not happening naturally. They are not coming here. What do? Open up the checkbook, go get the biggest Twitch streamer and have him stream on our platform. Do it again with Shroud. Do it again with this one. Do it again. Buy all the content to people. Try to get Dr. Disrespect. He says, I'm not going. Try to buy all the big people and bring them over here because nobody's coming here. They don't care. We could give them members and all this other. It doesn't matter. Spend the money and buy the big content. Force them here. And look what happened. 6 months after spending all that money, billions of dollars for those guys, they shut the fucking shit down in 6 months. Now Game Pass. Now, hey, the devs are not coming here. Our games are taking too long. We cannot get these games out in time. We need a flow of content. They're not making them fast enough. What do? Hands off, ass first approach. What do? You know what? Just go buy the industry. Go buy Bethesda. They have a whole portfolio of publishing games. We'll just keep them and they will just put their shit in Game Pass. I don't care what it is. As long as it's a game that I can put on my little Twitter account. That's not enough. Nobody's coming here. They got to play the Call of Duties. We got to get Call of Duty. Oh, shit. They're grabbing ass over there at fucking Activision. Stock drop. Phil, get over there. Open up the checkbook. Sleazy fucking move, yeah? Now you get Activision in here. Deal with all the drama and bullshit for over a year and a half. To do what? To put the game in Game Pass? To hopefully funnel people through your platform? And your service, you suck a goddamn $15 a month after you're sacrificing the big franchises that you already have. You think you're responsible enough to hold other people's franchises and not throw them in the boat, in the mud? Ask Rare about all their franchises. What the hell are they doing? Thank you for subscribing, Freelance Gaming. Thank you. But that's the problem I have. But everybody's just excited, not for the games, but the fact that Microsoft is buying people with their money and flexing. Why does that matter to you? Why do you have to go in there bling bling? Microsoft got money, so I support the rich company. But they're not giving you the content for a gamer. They're lying about Booster. Talking about, and know what the thing is, and Lincoln and Frog can agree to this because we talked about this so much. We bring up this DirectX ray tracing. We bring up this S. Not because we just like to say it's weak and ha ha ha. But you if you look, go listen to us back in 2019, in 2020. All the rage was how this was equivalent to the PS5. The S is the real competitor to the PS5 because it has the same process, it has the same CPU. That the X is actually a bigger upgrade that's not even the same league as the PS5. Ray tracing was built into the chips of these Xbox architectures. PlayStation had software, bootleg ray tracing. You forget all the marketing and bullshit probably from those Xbox ambassadors talking about how this was the future. They got Sony dead to rights. Sony dead man walking because the power of the X cannot be undersold. And we're seeing time and time again, PS5 outpacing Xbox Series X and the S bootleg being left behind. The exact opposite happened than what everybody talked about for a year and a half. These were project names. Remember, Link? We didn't even know they were S's and X's. There was Scarlet and Lockhart. Oh, they did it now. You're in trouble. We won't be undersold. Fucking 2 years I heard that. And now we're 2 years in, and these things are doing the complete opposite than all you friggin' clowns talked about. Yeah, sorry, Link. Soapbox.
No, I was just saying, 1440p, 120 FPS. That's what they promised you.
Yeah. Oh, I love this 1440p box.
With ray tracing.
Yeah, with ray tracing.
I just made a comment on Twitter today about that. And I swear these guys that play on Xbox, when they hear VRR or 120, that's like a thing for them to say, hey, we got this and you don't. I'm like, 90% of people who are playing these things are playing on their TV at 60 hertz. They're not playing on no 120. That's like when people talk about PC marketing.
But
how,
120.
Man.
Shout out to J-Dub.
They're talking about all these backwards compatible games that run at 120. They're not talking about any current gen game for them. But there's a few current gen games that run at 120. But anything current gen that's running at 120 on the Xbox is running 120 on the PlayStation. So the only things that they're talking about is these old BC games that Microsoft went back and touched up.
See what I mean?
And
right here.
Yeah.
I'm just showing. J-Dub must be listening. Shout out to J-Dub. He just posted. Albert Pinello used to make on Xbox. He goes, what if Xbox Velocity architecture is as performant as the PS5 SSD and Series S outperforms PS5 frame rates? This was an article from 2020, September 17th. Albert Pinello, Microsoft's former marketing director, went to Twitter, and he goes like this. What happens when the Xbox Velocity architecture is better than the PS5 and here it goes. And then he goes, turns out to be as performant as the PS5 SSD. And then it also turns out that the frame rates are better on the Series S because in order to overclock to get to 10 teraflops, you can't get the 60 frames per second on your games. That will be fun. And then he added, Nick, shout out to Nick. He goes, I think this is dumb as fuck. If the 9 teraflops or whatever PS5 has the base more than the 4 teraflops of the S. And he goes, that's true. But the CPU in the S is nearly the same as the X, and the CPU will have less GPU overhead to contend with. So I'm willing to bet that. That's probably what he meant. He said be that For cross-platform games, you'll see better frame rates on the Series S than you will on the PS fucking 5. This is what it is. And he goes here. Somebody says that may be tough to quantify because the resolution will be higher on the PS5 over the S. That's going to be fun also. And he goes, that's why my point is about getting to 10.2 and getting good frame rates. Either way, it's going to keep Digital Foundry plenty employed over the next few years.
Because what kills me.
This is what they were talking about. So you wonder why people bring this up.
These guys don't know technology. That's why.
This is the guy who made the fucking Xbox. This is Albert Pinello.
No, I mean what I'm saying is like he clearly doesn't know. He clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, yeah, clearly.
Former Xbox person. They must got the leash on him. But this is the shit. But
yeah,
this is one person. This was all the fucking rage. Everybody was saying this shit.
And at the end of the day, oh my God, we know power means nothing without the software.
Well, that's another argument for another day. This was just talking about the hardware. And they talked about this stuff for a year and a half before these consoles. A year and a half we talked about this shit. Velocity architecture sounds like a tropical disease. But this is why people go, oh, well, why are you bringing this stuff up about Xbox? Why? Just let it be. Yeah, you want to forget about it. You want to know why? Because you wouldn't shut the fuck up about it before the console released. And now when people are calling it out, going, all that stuff that I heard for a year and a half about Lockhart, and now it's the Series S, and it's going to be more powerful than the PS5, and all this other stuff. Oh, when the carpet hits the road, and now the rubber hits the road, and we're here now 2 years in, and now ray tracing is being dropped off of the S, and all this other horse shit. Now, we bring that up, and it's like, oh, why are you talking about that? This on, yeah? Because I sat through this shit, and I was saying it back then, going, guys, hold your tongue. Shut up, because it's about the software. Don't fall into all this goddamn Xbox ambassador hype. Hold your tongue. Wait till we see what happens, because we heard, and you know what's hilarious? I said this. We heard this with the One X. Oh, the most powerful console, and we saw the PS4 Pro outperforming it in frame rates, but the Xbox had a little jacked up resolution. But the Pro was holding its own against the One X. And it was actually running frame rates better because it was better optimized. And we just went through this. After a year and a half of Project Scorpio being the most powerful console, destroying the PlayStation potato. We just went through it, and it didn't amount to anything. You got two games. You had Gears, and Red Dead Redemption was the only one that looked better, played better on the Xbox Series S and the X, One X over the PS4 Pro. That's all you got. Meanwhile, all talked about playing your old games better. That story came and went. Then we're doing it again, and I'm like, guys, you didn't learn? You didn't learn from the One X? They talked a big game, and their software, nothing came out that demonstrated it. And they did it again, and they fell for it again. I don't get it. But this is the reason why I bring this up about Booster and about the S not performing and stuff. It's not because we just want to make fun of Booster. It's a cheap ass box. That's fine. But this is the shit. And it wasn't just this. It wasn't just him. Oh, it was all the ambassadors. All the Twitters. All the Philness. And it all self-proclaimed. All from inside. Albert Pinello, former Xbox. Oh, it's so powerful. No devs were saying that shit. No third-party dev was like, dude, the S is really on par with the PlayStation 5. Nobody said that.
If you looked at the GPU and the memory bandwidth and all the other hardware in the PlayStation, I don't see how he came to that conclusion. It just is stupid.
You got me over here in tears, man, because I'm like, this can't be real.
Dude, that's what he said.
You got me crying.
The fucker still has his tweet up. It's right here, Frog. The tweet's still here. He's still going.
Shit.
I'm going to like it and retweet it to start up. I'm going to retweet it. There we go.
That big hurt.
Dude,
this shit got me in tears.
He didn't stop. I'm gonna like it and retweet it again. There we go.
Nobody can really believe this shit. Like, who believes this shit?
I don't know.
Makes it so
I
funny.
don't know.
Oh my god, my damn stomach is killing me. Oh.
He works for Amazon Luna right now. Tell me how his fucking job's going. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Jesus. He went from one failing fuck to the next failing fuck.
I do not want to touch his ass. I want to make him talk. Okay? You're fired.
Holy shit.
Jesus, look at this list. He goes, OG games industry marketer, Amazon, now on Amazon Luna, formerly Xbox, formerly EA. Holy Jesus.
You're fired.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
I got exclusive interview with somebody from Amazon Luna.
Your break lights out.
I said, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire." Then I ran out.
343 interview exclusive.
For my life. And then the smoke got her. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Break that out.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the what the
Rumors are true. We have received a small quantity of the action figure known as Turbo Man. I am not going to ask you people to be quiet.
I know, buddy.
If you're not, we have plenty of Turbo Man's faithful pet tiger booster in stock.
even the baby doesn't want boost. He's crying, the poor baby. Holy Jesus.
Can I get one of your numbers?
The baby's crying, doesn't want any boosters. I think somebody posted this thing too. We got the Lego Star Wars game here. I know this is not on the Grinds board. This has been a wild show. Hit that like button, everybody. But yeah, Lego Star Wars, #1 in sales, split platform.
I've heard good things about it.
PS5, yeah. PS5, 31%. Xbox, 23%. PS4, 20%. Switch, 26%. PS5 and PS4, 51%. And Gran Turismo is still at number 7.
Let me ask you a question. Because this is what's confused me. I just want to make sure I get this right. So Xbox, when you talk about Xbox, that's Xbox One, that's Xbox Series, that's Xbox. Okay, how come
they don't split out the one?
How come we talk about PlayStation? They put PS4 and they put PS5. They don't put them together. So that would be like what, 50-something%, almost 50% PlayStation.
Yeah, 51%.
I'm saying, like, how come they don't put those two numbers together? But Xbox is by itself 23. If you put the PS5 and the PS4 numbers together, you're getting 51%. I mean, you know, we're still not. You know, if it's a game that's on both consoles, why wouldn't? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't
get it either. And we also have somebody from Activision leaving. The producer for actually the person from Activision Blizzard who worked on Call of Duty has left to join Naughty Dog. So this is just goes to kind of say, like, hey, the longer this Activision Xbox deal goes on, man, who's going to be left? Like, you know, you're going to have a skeleton crew and a bunch of IP. You're going to have exactly the situation you are with all your studios. With Fable, with Perfect Dark, you got skeleton crews and you got IP that you're sitting on there. You don't know what to do with. But, you know, it's all about quality, content, and retention. And it's going to be hard for them to retain such a huge company in doing that stuff. But, you know, there's really things. Now, the one thing I want the other thing, I don't think I have the sales thing.
The charts.
Oh, no, I said about hold your tongue. Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about how Xbox sold. Did I even do? I didn't want to put kids
a little bit more
like
in North America. I mean, Xbox should do better in North America, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Because that's its home territory. But I wouldn't say maybe do better, but at least keep up. And I think the reason they was able to keep up because you got a lot of Series S's out there, and that's easy. That's easy to sell. That $299
have been out there for the last.
And who really doesn't know? It's like if they really don't know, you can, So I don't. I look at this as like, oh, okay, great, that's great, But if we start finding out, like, hey, S to X, relatives is like, oh, there's like there's 40% Series X's out there, and then there's 60% Series S's out there. I think, like Link said, I think we still have a problem because now developers always stick to that lowest common denominator. I think Microsoft messed that up for themselves, for the generation, but primarily for themselves. Because I don't think their games are ever gonna, in a sense, maybe be that much better running, or if not just the same as the PlayStation side. I believe they're equally run the same, or their games will always run worse.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's stock issues and stuff like that. And again, this is not excuses. This is what's happening.
Oh.
And if Xbox is going to sell more, you know what? Let it sell more, please. Let it sell more with no games, because that even helps everybody just be like, sales matter. Because then when the tide is turned and you say, hey, PlayStation's outselling Xbox, which you know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. These are just fluke months. And it's like, every goddamn situation with Xbox, instead of asking where the games are, where's gameplay? Redfall is supposed to come out in summertime. When the fuck are you going to ask for Redfall? Like Xbox ambassadors, when are you asking for Redfall? You told me, I heard some people when I was like, guys, we haven't seen Redfall in January. They're like, Grinds, it's January. Calm down. The year just started. I'm asking again. We're going almost into fucking May. We don't see it. When should we be concerned? After fucking summer? And we don't hear anything? When should we be concerned about Redfall not showing an ounce of gameplay when it announced for the summer? We are 1 month into the spring. If you need to check a goddamn calendar. So, when I said be concerned, you better pucker that ass up, because when Grindhouse says to be concerned, you better be concerned. And I said this on Crossfire, shout out to Mooch on Friday. You never tell a New Yorker, don't worry about it. Because that's when we need to worry about it. That's what's like, oh, fuck, something's going on. If you tell me don't worry about it, I know it's something to be worried about, because some shit's going down. And that's exactly. So, there you go. January, where is it? We haven't seen anything for Redfall. Oh, it's only January. Calm down. Calm down. The year just started. We're gonna have Stalker 2 come out, and then Stalker 2, fucking that's now poor in Ukraine. Who even knows when that game's coming out? It was delayed before the war. Now after the war, those guys are surviving. I don't even know when the hell that game is coming out now. But Redfall was supposed to release in the summertime. We are 2 weeks away from May. When are we going to have the breakdown? When is the game going to drop? When's the release date? Don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't see one person on Twitter. All the Twitter spaces of the Xbox ambassadors, I don't see one person hosting a Redfall. Hey, I'm hyped for Redfall. What about you? They don't play games, Frog. They don't play. They don't play. They don't play because they don't care. They don't care. And you know what? They get all this internet clout. People, the stupid Xbox employees follow them, and they get on their checkbook.
Gaming Factory, CNC Gaming Factory.
Add them to the CNCs, man. So one thing, the last two topics I want to wrap up with here is the Sony owning 1.5 billion Epic game stock. They just dropped off $1 billion today. They're like, hey, you know what? Jim Gordon Ramsay's like, you know what? Here's $1 billion. Here you go, Epic.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what Sony's doing because they seem like they've been kind of invested in Epic for a minute. Like just looking at them, but there's some things I don't want to become this because Tencent has a big share, and Tencent is kind of a problem, I feel, but I don't feel people are going to see it like I see it, or they may see it and be like, oh, we're not there yet. But I think this is overall good because just look at the things that Epic's doing, like people can say they got what is it Fortnite, and Fortnite consistently changes, and I don't know, people are sleeping on Epic
and the engine they got right. And they said that this $1 billion was for the metaverse, which people are saying like PlayStation Home is coming back, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Look, all I can say
metaverse, dude. This is another friggin' hot word. It was cloud, now metaverse.
The closer this company gets to another company, and what I like about and this is what I said. Like, I'm not the biggest Fortnite player, but what I like about just sitting there and just looking at Fortnite is the thing that they've gotten so close to so many different people. This game has been able to reach people on PlayStation side with God of War, Uncharted, and they're on all consoles. And I'm like, they've kind of broke that barrier where they say, okay, you guys can coexist in the same world. They haven't got Nintendo yet, because I can't think of one Mario or Nintendo thing that's in Fortnite. Can anybody else?
No, there's nothing. Just Wait says here. He says Sony and Epic are working together on virtual production for film, TV. Sony provides the hardware. Epic provides Unreal. I agree. This metaverse stuff. I think it has to do with some of the VR shit. I think it has to do with some of that. I think, I think everybody's trying to leverage themselves into this kind of social online virtual world. And Lego invested too as well. Frog, you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. I thought you got cut off.
Yeah, I was just muted.
Oh, there you go.
I'm here. I'm just muted.
Oh, what were you saying?
What I was basically saying is, like, I think Epic, as they are now, are forced to be reckoned with. I think that they've kind of made a name for themselves. And I don't think that's going to stop as long as they can keep doing what they're doing with Fortnite. Fortnite is larger than life.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Do you think this has anything to do with that big news?
It's one of those games that's up there. Like, when you think about, like, GTA, Fortnite's in the same sentence. You know what I'm saying? When somebody can say something, about GTA and Fortnite's in that sentence, like this, Fortnite is just larger than life. It's become that game that everybody wants to be.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, everybody in the chat's just like, like, it's just like a big entertainment company working with another one in this metaverse. I agree. Like, I really think this metaverse thing, I think it's another kind of like hot word that all investors want to hear. Just like when VR was coming out, like, it was all about everything had to be in this virtual world and virtual environment. And I think this metaverse thing is coming up to be the same thing. Like, I think it's just this lingo that everybody wants to talk about. And I just think, like, I don't want to live in a friggin' like a virtual world. Like, I'll mess around, like, and hang out, and if there's some cool things, if you could game together in this world and try it out. But again, I think they're chasing something. They're trying to make something out of nothing happen here. And I think the biggest thing is you got to develop the platform. You got to develop the thing, and people will come if it's engaging and if it's entertaining. You cannot force people to turn something. You cannot force something to be viral. You could try to attempt to make it viral, but you cannot force it to be viral. Like, check out this viral video. Check this out. Make it viral. Do it. Do it. Forward this viral. Like, you could try, but if it's not funny, if it's not something that's catchy, it's not going to be viral, no matter how many times you tweet it out, how many times you tell somebody to make it viral. It's not going to become viral unless the content is something of that. And I think that's the main motif of all this stuff. It's like all this services and interactions and metaverse and all stuff. Like, you cannot force people to make this popular. It will be popular if you provide the content and the feature set that people want to engage with. So all this talk and investment and all this other stuff really does nothing right now. Like, I'm just interested in this whole, like, Sony, again, I think people are saying Sony was broke, Game Night says. Yeah, Sony's not broke. Sony is very targeted with their approach to buying stuff. They are not just there just throwing out the checkbook. They want that Ready Player money, that Ready Player One money. Yeah. If it was Ready Player One, like, when you could feel, like, sweat and emotions and all this other stuff, like, no, nobody's going to be standing in their living room, like, getting the dog licking your ass, and it's like, oh my God, this is great virtual world, I'm getting interact. Like, no, it's not going to work out, especially if they're, like, stick figures and shit. Like, it's stupid. It's so, like, it just does not, unless it's something engaging and something worthwhile, it's going to be a fun thing to check out and do. But this metaverse thing, I think Sony keeps investing in Epic. I think Epic is a good investment. You know, Epic has like the engine. It has the Fortnite, which is a social platform. You know, it is the playground, the virtual playground that people want. Make games, make up games, meet, do fashion shows, do concerts, things like that. Like, it makes sense. They kind of they could feed off of each other. Sony Music, concerts, and Fortnite. Things like, you know, make the live events and stuff, and VR, Fortnite. Like, think about if you could put your friggin' VR headset on and be inside Fortnite watching a live concert. I don't know. I guess that's interesting. I get those concerts were pretty cool, you know, to mess around and jump around and stuff like that. But, like, you know, those are just different ways to engage people, you know, just like the movies and these games that are becoming movies, other ways of getting people who don't traditionally play with a controller and play those hardcore kind of virtual games, getting other people, hardcore like games that we play, getting other people into these. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, again, it's big companies spending money. I didn't really think it was something that's there, but I'm wondering, you know, one thing I do want to throw out there is I was thinking about what this whole big Sony news is. You know, this big acquisition, big deal. And the only things that I could think of that would be impactful would be something along the lines of getting, you know, an Epic, if they're going to do that. Or I thought the other two suggestions I had was like getting the Warner Brothers with all that IP and having another superhero arm there. And then the other one is probably getting Rockstar and getting GTA 6. And those are the big ones that I could think of if that's going to do anything for the gaming industry and bringing, you know, getting exclusives and stuff like that to the Sony platform. But otherwise, if those don't amount to games and it's just like buying kind of like, you know, stupid, like, oh, we're buying this engine and this stuff, I don't really give a shit. It has to be some games. Like, if you buy some company to bring, like, awesome games and you know, develop games, bring games out of IP, do that stuff like that, that's interesting. Yeah, if WB doesn't come with IP, then they're useless. They could keep that shit. But if they do come with the IP, then think about it. They've been doing so well with Marvel games, maybe they'll do DC games. Yeah. Well, that's what they said. The WB doesn't come, but maybe they negotiated it. I don't know. But I'm just thinking of like, what could be this big news? I don't think Konami's a big news. Konami's shit. I think Konami's trash. Maybe they get the IP and they can resurrect Silent Hills and all that other stuff. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this shit.
I hate for them to get Konami. Ugh. I can't
really
really think of a reason. Oh, wait.
They got some IP. They got some IP over there.
Yeah, they can bring that back. Hold on, maybe some stuff in Konami. They got some IPs. I just don't.
But it won't be Konami working on it. It'll be Sony just buying them for their IP because Konami will probably be
only buying for their IPs, and then I don't know.
They're not gonna have Konami working on it.
From software, the lazy dev. Is Konami even making any games right now?
No, they're making like arcade games.
Rumor was that there was a Castlevania game in the works with somebody at Sony. That's the rumor. It was Konami and somebody. So I was thinking maybe Konami and Bluepoint. That's the rumor, but like there again, I don't know what they're doing. That's the last rumor I heard was they were making a Castlevania game.
Yeah,
and it was going to come to PlayStation, and they were working with somebody in PlayStation's studios to make the game. Which to me, there's only
like
one or
it
two
was
people.
Industry changing. Like if they was said like this was, it wasn't as big as Activision. Again, these are the bullshit insiders. But like it was around a lot of people. It wasn't just like floating around. Like it was some big people like saying that this is some industry changing shit. So I don't know. It was very interesting, but I wouldn't put it past them. Sony, I think Microsoft buying up these studios has really awoken Sony to do something similar.
I was going to say, at this point, if Sony really want to buy anything, in my personal opinion, there's only two companies actually I could see them buying right now. They would even make sense for them. And that'd be Square and Capcom, just because I think that they work so well with them. But I do think that, you know, Sony's not stupid enough to say, hey, Capcom, you can't make games for Nintendo. They're going to get their money over there.
Exactly.
So
that's why I mean, maybe
the bigger IPs don't go everywhere. But I think that they say, because I think some like I don't think in any way, shape, or form, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Activision really makes anything for Nintendo Switch, right?
Yeah, nothing really.
But Microsoft in their whole little conference is like, oh, we're going to keep supporting PlayStation and Nintendo. And I'm like, what does Activision do for Nintendo? Other than maybe what, Crash Bandicoot?
Crash, that was it. Yeah.
So my whole thing is like, yeah, why not keep doing it? Like, Nintendo's obviously, you don't see them as a threat. I don't see why, but they don't see them as a threat.
And that's the thing. Just Wait says the same thing. Like, we're getting those games anyway. And like, this goes to the whole deal of like what Microsoft's doing, like all this time and stuff and energy for this Activision stuff. Call of Duty was coming to Xbox anyway. Like, that's the thing. Like, like all this for what? And then that's the thing to, even the Bungie deal. Like we said that, like the Twitter, but like it didn't really change anything. But I do think Bungie's next game is going to be on Sony. I think. That,
I think that
Destiny's gonna stay, but I think their next game is gonna be Sony.
I think at the end of the day, that like this year's Call of Duty obviously is multi-plat. Next year's game, which is only Warzone, will be multi-plat. But I do think the year after that, because it's been so long, maybe you start seeing Call of Duty in Game Pass, or if not in Game Pass. Because my whole thing would be, I still don't think they're going to take it from Sony. But I think even if they did take Call of Duty from Sony, I think that franchise is at a point where those core gamers will play and they'll get engagement over there. And if it's only one platform, it's worse for them. So I don't think there's a reason they take it.
I don't know. I just know that they're focused on service games and made me think about 2K, with GTA Online, Ultimate Service Game, NBA 2K, which will probably stay multi-plat. But like that would be something huge, and that's their service game focus that they're really trying to push for. That's another reason why they bought Bungie, because of Destiny service games.
My only problem, like when you start getting 2K, now it's like anybody who has like sports franchises, those obviously.
Well, they do when MLB The Show. They don't freaking care.
Yeah, because I always look and say, "Geez, man, like, this game is obviously gonna have to be multi-plat."
Yeah. But it's just Sony spending money. It was interesting that they did it, especially after Epic talked about the Unreal Engine. But again, it's more for the meta. And, we'll see what this metaverse is. Like, I keep hearing about it, but I want to see a game to go along with all this bull that they're talking about. And then the final thing, just a quick, I know that Godfall dropped on the Xbox for $29.99, and everybody's excited over there, saying that it was trash at $70, but it's a rich man's find at $29.99.
Let me tell you something. The same people who said that they talked trash about Godfall when it came to PlayStation 5 are now the same people who were like, "Oh, look at me, I got a better deal. It's only $29." See, these clowns and cocksuckers, I said this earlier on Twitter, they're so worried about, "Oh, we got it for $29," when you should have been looking at the studio and say, "You guys been pushing cross-play, cross-platform play, and this game isn't even cross-play." So that's a game as a service. If anybody's know, Godfall is really a game as a service. How long or how much of a big fan base is going to be on that Xbox without, that installment of the PlayStation? They just should have said to these developers, like, yeah, make it freaking, we need to be able to play this with PlayStation players. It's a game that's on both consoles. Why are we jumping around saying, "Oh, it's $29, I got the best version," while you guys got a beta? You dumbasses, this game will be dead on your platform quicker than it died on PlayStation.
Did they give it away in PS Plus? Did they give it away in PS Plus?
They gave it away in PS Plus, but it wasn't the full game.
Oh, yeah.
It was
like the Champion Edition or something.
Yeah, I stopped playing. I beat the game, and then after that, that's like when the real game begins. I'm like, no, that's when I'm finished. I ran through that game, I beat it, and then that was it. I was done with it.
It's one of those games that's meant to be played like a Destiny or something like that. And so my whole thing is like, I can play it. That's
why wasn't that in Game Pass? See, that's the other thing. I don't understand. Like, that's something that would have been perfect for Game Pass. It made its money. It did what it had to do as a launch title. 2 years later, here come the secondhand fiddles that you get on Xbox, because that's what you seem to get, the hand-me-downs. And then it comes there. And I think at $29.99, that should be a head scratcher, because just make Phil, why is this not in Game Pass? This is the game that should be in Game Pass. If Game Pass was the future, why am I spending $29.99 on a game when this should be in Game Pass? Like, the games that should be in Game Pass are not in Game Pass.
Here's the other thing.
It shows you that Game Pass is not the bee's knees that everybody talks about. Because if it was, that would be in Game Pass.
Xbox is not the bee's knees. Let me tell you why.
Exactly.
You gotta remember, man. We were this is why I go back to cross play. We're these guys, man, they played on Xbox. It's like Sony doesn't want to play right. They don't want to play fair.
Oh yeah, I remember
and then,
that.
like now, most of the games that come out that are multi-plat, that are the same game that have multiplayer elements, aren't cross-play. But I don't hear any of them talking crap about it. Like, hey man, where's the Xbox versus PlayStation guys? We all one big pool. And I'm like, yo, it
was just we have it, you don't. That was the whole point.
Yes, and now like some of like the smallest games you would think of, or in my mind, have crossplay. The Fortnite, the freaking what's the other game that I play? Road Company's crossplay. But some of your bigger games, Madden. Why can't people on Madden on the PlayStation play against Xbox people? Stupid stuff like that. Yeah. Why can't we all play 2K together? Nobody's but y'all jumping up and down for $29 games and buying stats. Calm down.
For a game that you trashed on 2 years ago. Incredible.
Yes. That you're probably not going to beat. That's the sad thing.
They're not beating
Go
that
check
game.
the Frog. You know what to do.
Early adopters always pay a higher price.
In a week. See how many hours they're in on it.
Listen, I don't.
I know.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't even know. He said, never mind.
It's not even worth it. It's just the thing is that I guess alright.
Game Factory.
I was just saying, like, even with the whole thing being $29, everybody knows the early adopters is going to pay a premium versus somebody who buys a game almost 2 years later.
I know, it's
come
2
on,
years.
Remember what happened with Tomb Raider?
I think $30 is too much for that game 2 years later.
Remember
I don't think so.
Full price for Xbox with the DLC later, and then when it came to PlayStation, it was just like one complete bundle. So, and it was actually a better version because it had more stuff. But the fact of the matter is, they're probably getting a better version, I would say now. But the first thing one of them said is like, "Oh, 120 VRR, baby." I was like, "Oh my god, here we go." Dude, stop it. And my whole thing is like, who are you going to play this with? Because not that many people on there really care about this game because they're in the Game Pass. It didn't come to Game Pass. But now all of a sudden, you freaking clowns and cocksuckers want to buy games. Ah, man.
I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. My thing is, if Game Pass was that thing that's so successful that they all talk about, you would think a game like that would go into Game Pass. Like the 2K would find value in putting that into Game Pass instead.
What Epic game has been in Game Pass?
Epic?
Has any Epic game been or Epic or 2K game been in Game Pass?
Yeah,
I think
Rockstar, GTA, and Red Dead, and 2K. NBA 2K was in Game Pass.
Which one?
NBA last year was in it after a few months after.
And you said GTA?
GTA was in it for a month.
Which one?
GTA
San
5.
Andreas, right?
Yeah. No, GTA 5 was in there for a month. Yeah.
Oh.
And then remember, it left Game Pass and then went to PS Now for a month.
I swear it was one of the remastered GTAs.
No, they put GTA 5 in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, GTA 5 was in there last year for a month and then went into PS Plus for a month, for PS Now for a month, and then GTA San Andreas was in Game Pass and then left, and then GTA 3 was in PS Now for a month.
I don't think that game can be stopped.
Vice City went into GTA and PS Now.
Yeah, GTA 5 is just that's another one of those games. Like that game can't be stopped. It's just so big.
Yeah, Godfall is Gearbox, but I think is it published by 2K or is it published by Gearbox?
It's Gearbox, I think, developed it.
It is Gearbox Publishing, maybe.
Yeah,
they publish it.
I beat it. It was it was a great looking game. It was a good launch title because it just looked so good. But it was it had some frame issues when combat got crazy, but it was all right. Like the story was not bad.
It's a decent little title.
All right. It was a nice little game. It was a good game.
It's kind of like if you played what's that game called that I played part 1 and 2 of, like Knack. It's a decent title just to kind of like have something that kind of grind on. And I
didn't grind after the end when they're like, oh well, now you got this down. Now you can fight these. I'm like, nope, I'm done.
Knack was one of those games that you played and you really saw what the PS4 could do in some elements. You're like, yo, this is pretty dope. But it wasn't nothing that it was a stocking stuffer game. Knack has always been a stocking stuffer game.
Stocking stuffer. Well, guys, I was gonna wrap this up. My medicine is like now I'm like winding down because like I gotta take it again. I was all wound up. But yeah, we're gonna end the gaming grindhouse tonight, man. We got through the list. I know we added some ad hoc topics, so hit that like button. We had just over 200 people live. I want to thank everybody for their super chats, for their support, for coming in live. Hit that like button, share it out. Thank you to the new subscribers. And Frogs, tell them where they could find you.
Yo, you can find me not on Xbox. No, you can find me on Frogs Dope Gaming in the morning. I'm trying to get back to streaming. It's been kind of crazy because I've been doing a lot of real world stuff. But at Frogs Dream on Twitter.
There we go.
If you're not in the channel, I think I got a link down there on my Twitter. But if not, I'll give it to you.
Oh yeah, I gotta put it in. Yeah, I gotta put it in the description so it's in every show. Yeah. And then and then same thing for Link. I'll put his link in there for the show. Link, are you anywhere else besides going around to the podcast and you find them on the Twitters?
That's it, guys. That's it.
That's it.
Good show as always.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure, guys, having you guys on. Thank you, Impatient. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. We are going to shut down the Grindhouse for night, but keep it locked here. Sub to the Grindhouse for more content, and check out the other videos that I did last week, and more stuff coming. Whenever I got these, I might have some more skits for you guys. We'll see. Oh, I get these allergies worked out. But thanks again, everybody. We are out of here. Sirens. Grindhouse is closed for the night. See you guys later.